Year in review, Preston Thorne. Almost time, Jen Jensen, that we have made it another trip. Is it? Yeah, another trip around the sun.
There you go.
There's no goals in front of us now. Actually, there's one goal.
Bill.
Get to December 31st.
Oh no, Bill. No. You got it all wrong.
Oh, really?
There's always goals in front of us. That's how you keep this racket going.
Corrected myself. There's one. Get to December 31st. Wrap up the year.
Always goals in front of us. You got to keep the goals in front of you. It's like a little stick in front of the horse. You just got to keep the goals in front of you.
Little carrot out there.
Mm-hmm. Just put that little carrot out there. There's always sticks in front of the horse. I just saw a picture of Sam Pittman and Bobby Petrino at the Arkansas Duke game, sitting directly next to each other. Sam Pittman's a big guy.
Yeah, he is. Yes, he is.
I wonder how cozy they two were. It looked like Sam had his arm around Bobby. This is off to a great start.
Is this manufactured or is this real?
Well, I mean, we were trying to figure out if T Swift and Travis Kelce were manufactured or real.
That's a good point.
Sam Pittman and Petrino, who knows? We're going to have to keep our eye on it.
Okay.
We're going to have to check on TMZ.
There's a lot to get to today. There is a lot. Matt Rule making a comment now about basically free agency and quarterbacks and what it cost. Did you see that comment yesterday?
I sure did.
We'll get to that. That will lead us down the path of quarterbacks in the transfer portal.
I think.
Well, let me be clear about this real quick. Again, the transfer portal is not technically open yet. You can state your intentions. I don't know how it works. I really don't know how that works with like in schools not. South Carolina's offered a couple Ivy League players today. I really don't know the actual, like, are we in the gray area? Is it black and white where just once you say you're in the portal, you can be, I'll be honest. And nobody seems to have a true answer to that, Preston, because back in your day, or back in our day, but when you were playing, there was no actual computer portal. You were just like, yeah, I'm transferring.
You heard whispers and rumors. Hey, man, I heard this guy's transferring to somewhere.
Yeah. But, like, you didn't – if somebody wanted to transfer, I don't think they had – I don't know what the proper procedure is. Like, was there paperwork you filled out?
A lot of paperwork.
Okay.
You had to go paperwork. Then you would get – you had to go talk to the coach. Then you could possibly get denied. You get your restrictions.
Well, back then, yeah, good point on denials and being blocked from going to certain universities. Yeah, I forgot about that.
Yeah. So long ago. It feels like today is Transfer Portal Tuesday on a Thursday.
It's heating.
It might be Transfer Portal Friday on it.
It's heating
Tuesday
up.
On a Friday.
Yesterday, the Transfer Portal carousel, if you will, it started spinning quickly, and we'll get to a lot of that this morning. I'll be honest, I'm not being funny about this. It's late yesterday afternoon, it started becoming hard to keep up with what's real and what's not.
Great. I'm so excited.
The
silly sport keeps spinning.
We will get into a lot of that this morning because it was very interesting. Brad Crawford will join us at about 6:30 because one of these transfer portal rumors, I'm in, I'm not in. You just mentioned it. Sam Pittman and Bobby Petrino. Was KJ Jefferson anywhere there with his arm around anybody?
Well, according to his Instagram, we don't know because he posted something and deleted it. So
exactly.
The most 2023 stories that we could. Let's just play 2023 Mad Libs. Instagram, transfer portal, NIL, Bobby Petrino. Just try and figure out how you can make a sentence out of those things.
It's
beautiful. It's beautiful.
It's something. So we'll get into all that. South Carolina's quarterback room went from we need more chairs to sit wherever you want. Sit wherever you want. There's a lot of space in here. Wherever you want to sit, the front, the back. It went from 5 chairs to basically 2. We're waiting on Dante Reno to show up now.
Again, to make it the internet meme, it's that Will Smith meme where he walks in the room, nothing's in the room, he's just looking around.
I think that was the John Travolta and the Will Smith. Yeah, it shrank quickly. We'll get into that. Spencer Rattler declaring for the NFL draft. No shock. I think I am glad that he went ahead and just did it.
Thank you, sir.
Yes. keep us from like next week being like, well, he's probably going to declare, but he hadn't done it yet. So he thankfully gets that out of the way. Tanner Bailey, Colton Gauthier announcing intentions to either enter the transfer portal or be in the. I don't know. Again, I'm for someone who's covered recruiting and been around this. This is a new wrinkle that I didn't expect to have to be figuring out. Is okay. So technically, the portal's not open, but you're in the. I don't like. Is this a new wormhole into the portal? Is it a little side door that you have to? I have no clue how it works because again, kids are being offered. There appear to be some contacts being made. I really can't figure it out, but we are at least getting word of who is in the transfer portal. Duke, first they lost their coach. Now they've lost their quarterback. Coastal Carolina, they've lost both of their quarterbacks. It's a wild time. We'll get into all of it this morning and let Preston really rant and rave on that. Again, Brad Crawford due up about 6:30 this morning because a Brad Crawford report yesterday. If indeed KJ Jefferson enters the transfer portal, South Carolina would be the leader. And that's going to lead us to questions. Big questions.
A lot of questions.
803-404-6100. Let's get out to the Love Chevy phone lines. A man who has a lot of answers, Preston. Lots of answers. Gamecock Larry, how you feeling this morning, young man?
Well, I'm doing too good. My doctor finally done something you and Preston been wanting for quite a while. Got tired of hearing no Gamecock Larry calling and fussing with Bill and praising Preston and Jennifer. She's always number one. But the doctor told me yesterday I had to do less talking and more listening. And he sent the nurse out here with a bunch of stuff she want me to do. Man, I drink hot tea. I ain't never drank no hot tea. What in the world that, well, that's what I got to do, gargle with corn, salt water. So I'm going to shut it down for a while. He's shutting me down for a while, so I'm not going to be calling in, but I'm going to be listening. And I want all you Clemson Tiger fans, I'm going to tell you right now, I got me 2 phones, 2 radios, and 2 books. One for 100.7 comes on from 6 to 8 after 107 goes off. And I'm going to got one for that one and one for 107.5. And if you got something to say and I don't like it, I'm going to write it down, keep it up to date, and I'm going to, when they let me do what I want to do, I'm going to be calling back in. But just remember, Gamecock Larry, love all y'all, even some of them old Tiger Tater fans. I don't love him. No, I can never say that. No, I don't love him. No. Once a Gamecock can't love no Tater. So, but that's not all I got to say. And I want to thank you all and keep me in your prayers. Everything's going to be all right. Everything's going to be all right. Talk to you all later. Go Gamecocks and go Bill. Go Bill. Oh, my buddy.
I think I like this doctor. Yeah, good. Get yourself rested,
Lord.
buddy. Get yourself rested. You got a lot of trash talk to get to with the way this basketball team is playing. 803-404-6100. Yep. Get yourself better.
So is Gamecock? So if we're going on the Shane Beamer scale of injuries, where is Gamecock Larry? Is he probable?
He's out,
tomorrow?
but he's day to day.
Out, but day to day for tomorrow.
He's out, but day to day.
Okay.
He's out because I could feel maybe, just maybe, he takes Friday, Saturday, Sunday, Monday, Tuesday off. He will be ready to call on Wednesday to do a little trash talking for the big. This actually could be a lot of fun if South Carolina and Clemson can take care of business this weekend on the hardwood to have an undefeated showdown up at Little John Coliseum next Wednesday. And I think that if Gamecock Larry can rest, heal, we say gargle some hot tea. Do you gargle hot tea?
Well,
You're a hot tea of us. You're the hot tea drinker.
I am a tea drinker. He was saying drink the hot tea, which he's never done in his life because he's a manly man. And then number 2, he was saying he was gonna gargle salt water and some salt and salt water.
Okay.
So he's working on some throat issues. Like I said, day to day, out but day to day. Very Juice Wellesley-ish.
Okay. Out the day, yeah. So he's out today, but he's already made an appearance. So he's I think, out the rest of the day. But you never know. You never know. He could be back tomorrow. 803-404-6100. Should South Carolina take a transfer quarterback? And what does Matt Rule have to say about the cost of a transfer quarterback? We'll get into all that. There is a lot to unwrap this morning with things that occurred yesterday regarding quarterbacks and the transfer portal. You're listening to Preston Thorne, Bill Gunner, she's Jen Jensen. It's the early game.
The game will be at the beach, in the PD, and the Midlands. That almost covers the whole Palmetto State. In Columbia, 107.5 The Game. Also heard on 100.3 The Game in Myrtle Beach and 100.5 The Game in Florence.
The big shopping day was almost a week ago. A week ago tomorrow, the usual Black Friday deals that you were getting. Well, guess what? Zerorez Carpet Air Duct Cleaning extended their Black Friday sale all the way up until today. So today's the final day. If you can call Zerorez 803-262-4020 and book by the end of today, you can get great deals such as 3 rooms and a free hallway for just $119. You can get your sofa cleaned with their patented ZR water technology for just $129, or you can have an air duct cleaning for just $309. But you have to book before the end of today to capture these great savings. So schedule your appointment with Zerorez. You can go online, ZerorezColumbia.com, or you can give them a phone call, 803-262-4020, and mention me, Bill Gunner, at 107.5 The Game. Schedule today. Take advantage of these great deals. Zerorez, spell it backwards or forwards. It's the right way to clean.
Broadcasting live from the Herndon Chevrolet Studios. This is 107.5 The Game.
A great selection of new Chevys is available now at Herndon Chevrolet. The lot is packed with inventory and more is on the way. So shop your hometown Chevy dealer today.
Stop by or shop online today and see why Herndon Chevrolet makes you smile.
Your attention is precious. Pulled in a million directions for a million different reasons. Blue Cross and Blue Shield Federal Employee Program works hard to make sure your health insurance isn't one of the many things distracting you from what's important. By making healthcare easier to navigate, we help keep your focus on the moments that matter most, like dinner with loved ones, letting you focus on you. That's the benefit of Blue. Learn more at fepblue.org.
Hi, I'm Glenn Matthews.
And I'm Melanie Matthews.
And we are the 3rd generation owners of Modern Exterminating Company.
In a time when corporate consolidation, high-pressure door knockers, and inexperienced startups are becoming the norm, isn't it nice to have an experienced, local, family-owned company that you can count on since 1955?
Modern Exterminating has been the local, independent industry leader in the pest control business for the last 67 years. Experience the local, family-owned difference for yourself at 803-765-2315 or pestfreesc.com.
The South Carolina Military Museum wishes our Palmetto State veterans a happy Veterans Day. You're all invited to visit the museum at 1 National Guard Road to enjoy the state's largest collection of military equipment, firearms, and vehicles. It's our honor to celebrate you and your service to our great state and nation. As always, admission is free, and we're open from 10 a.m. to 4 p.m. Monday through Saturday. Be sure to visit scmilitarymuseum.com for special events and updates, and we'll see you at the South Carolina Military Museum.
Are you tired of getting stuck on the sidelines, feeling like you've been tackled by bad luck? Well, it's time to call in the MVP of towing services, Schroeder's Towing. Whether your ride needs a Hail Mary jumpstart or a fourth quarter tow, Schroeder's Towing has got you covered. We'll make sure you reach the end zone safely every time. Our team of expert drivers is always in peak performance mode, ready to deliver a touchdown of service 24/7. So don't fumble around with other towing companies. Call Schroeder's Towing today.
Schroeder's Towing, the best and fastest bookers in town.
For whatever you may want, in most any kind of sport, Todd and More is where it begins.
It's the Christmas kickoff sale where Todd Moore has hundreds of gift ideas for men, women, and children. Shoes, apparel, equipment, and more. Name brands you'll love and selections for every budget. From football, baseball, and basketball to tennis, pickleball, and soccer, Todd Moore has the best selection and prices. Todd Moore, 620 Hugie Street at Blossom near the campus.
Equipment for your sport, from the diamond to the court, Todd and More is where it begins.
Introducing Herndon Certified. Herndon Certified used vehicles are quality assured and come with our 60-day warranty. complete with nationwide coverage. Don't just buy a used car. Buy a Herndon certified used car and drive with confidence, knowing Herndon's got you covered. Find your perfect pre-owned in-store or online at HerndonChevy.com.
Herndon Chevrolet, Herndon makes you wanna smile, smile.
WIS-TV First Alert Traffic.
Things looking all clear right now on the highways. No major slowdowns to speak of. No accidents to report. And it's a good way to start your Thursday morning. As far as your forecast goes, 61 will be the high today, mostly sunny. Tomorrow afternoon and evening, that's when we'll see some showers coming in. It'll continue to warm up. 67 for the high tomorrow. 68 on Saturday with some rain. 70 on Sunday. A few showers are possible then as well. And then as we start the work week, should be getting out of that rain pattern. Monday's high, 64. But right now, another cool start. It is 30 on the early game.
The early game.
With Bill Gunter, Preston Thorne, and Shen Jensen.
Your home of the Gamecocks in Columbia. 107.5 The Game.
Also heard on 100.3 The Game in Myrtle Beach.
And 100.5 The Game in Florence.
.617 on a Thursday morning, the final day of November. Tomorrow we'll get into conference championship. Should be actually a very fun weekend. I don't know if we've had a championship weekend, Preston, quite like what we're about to experience, where this is essentially the first round of the college football playoffs. That's really what starting tomorrow night with Oregon and Washington, Georgia and Alabama, Florida State. Louisville not involved in the playoffs, but you get the point. Texas, Oklahoma State not involved, but they are ranked, and they'll be a part of a big game on Saturday. It's going to be actually first time I can ever remember it. I guess you can throw Michigan in there. Iowa definitely not. But I think we would all vote Iowa out of the college football playoff, even if they were somehow involved. Like, no, we don't want your brand of football in this thing. They're like the Cinderella that I like watching in the first and second round, but by the time I get to the Elite Eight, I'm like, no, give me my blue bloods. I don't want you a part of this.
I believe I saw somewhere where there's a betting line out there that Iowa will score 0 points in the first half. It's like 0.5.
I'll look into that. I can find some of those props.
I believe there's a prop bet out there.
I can believe that. So yeah, we'll get into that, more of that tomorrow. Chris Deering will join us for the high school highlights state championship weekend.
Big weekend.
Unfortunately, Somerville not involved.
No, they did not make it. Shout out to White Knoll, Tom Knotts and White Knoll and the Dutch Forks and Gray Academy, and there's a couple of local schools around here. They're gonna be playing the game down there at in Orangeburg.
Yep.
At South Carolina State. So shout out to all those teams that are getting ready for that big game.
So we'll get into all of that tomorrow. Just a reminder, as always, you can go to your app store on your phone and download the 107.5 The Game app. So if you're traveling around, you can't pick us up on your radio, you can hear us anywhere. Go to the app store, check out 107.5 The Game, download the app, just put it right on your phone. You can play it that way, and that way you never miss a second of, at least for us, interesting radio discussion. I just walked around yesterday singing different songs that had popped up on our text line from our Bobby Petrino mixtape. 803-404-6100. So year 5 of the transfer portal, Preston Thorne, and you're saying it's you just got to buy in.
Get used to it.
Buy a t-shirt.
I'm saying it's not going back. Much like a lot of things in society, the toothpaste is out the tube. It's not going back. You don't have to like it, but in the words of Ric Flair, you better learn to love it, because this is it. It's not going to be changing. There is one way it can change, but nobody wants to do that. Talk about collective representation. Say that over and over again. So this is what it is, man. And everybody can complain about it. Everybody can say they don't like it. the viewing numbers in college football suggest very differently because ratings have exploded. People are watching. People are paying attention. The coaches can complain all they want, yet they're still shopping every single day in the portal.
Mm-hmm.
So, listen, man, get used to it.
No, this is a case where nobody wants to get used to it. It's kind of, you don't want to know how the sausage is made or, the whatever. And this is a situation from which it's ugly. It's nasty. Notre Dame is likely just coming over to Durham, North Carolina and saying, all right, Riley Leonard, how much money do you want? And we're going to give you a chance to play for a championship. And we're going to, this is the new way of doing things, especially with quarterbacks. And this brings us to South Carolina and the Lenore Sellers situation, a guy that we've hyped up for, I don't know, it's going on December. So 9.5 months. Does that seem right? Like ever since he really arrived on campus, ever since we saw him in the spring game, ever since we saw him against Furman, the touchdown run against Vanderbilt. Now we're all like, oh, this guy, look out, world. Can they put goggles on the Heisman for 2024? That's the way it is. And Brad Crawford reporting yesterday that if KJ Jefferson enters the transfer portal, that South Carolina would likely be the top choice for him. His knowledge, his friendship, his relationship of Dow Loggins playing a big part of that. It brings up the question, really, it brings up, as I talked about, the radio tree, where then you get all the branches, the little different things. It brings up the question of how big is next year for Shane Beamer? Do you go into next year with a road trip to Alabama, a road trip to Oklahoma, home games against LSU and Mississippi, a road trip to Kentucky? Do you go into next year with an unproven quarterback? Are fans willing to sit through another 4-8, 5-7 type season if Lenore Sellers needs a year to fully adjust? Or does Shane Beamer need to win next year? And by bringing in a veteran SEC quarterback who has experience playing in these road environments, gives you a better chance for 7-5, maybe 8-4. It seems unrealistic now. I'm just throwing out two different scenarios. Preston, welcome to the transfer portal era, where winning is something you're not given time to do.
Oh, poor Shane and poor coaches. I'm sorry. You don't have enough time to win games. Get used to it. And I will say this, and I'm going to wait for Brad Crawford's report. I'm going to wait for some more confirmation. But you can win. You can possibly take an opportunity, a chance to win now and definitely lose later, or you can stay the course and play it out. Because you take this opportunity and you try and get a hack, not as a hack as in his performance, but try to hack your way into winning games instead of going through development, you will lose. And it will not be a good move.
But there's a lot of people that have texted in this week and said if next year's not a winning year, you don't get a fifth year. Like there's people put it on. So you're going out there. This is where I think it gets really interesting for South Carolina fans, and we'll catch up with, again, Brad Crawford here in a few minutes and get more details on this report from Brad, what he's hearing, what the rumors are. But South Carolina, by the way, for the record, right now has I really don't know how many quarterbacks they have, and because I don't know what they list. I don't know what Luke Doty's been doing in practice since like October. And I'm not being funny about that because we've seen Luke Doty. Like I haven't seen him take a snap at quarterback. Since the Furman game, I believe. Does that sound right? He obviously didn't come in against Vanderbilt up, I don't know, however many points they were at whatever point.
He was going to throw one pass on Saturday.
Yeah. Did not line up as a quarterback, but was going to throw the good point. But this to me is the interesting scenario. It's easy next year to halfway through the season, if South Carolina's kind of struggling, and supposedly the SEC is going to release the actual dates. We'll know everything, but in December. But the easiest thing next year is at the end of September to go, should have taken a transfer quarterback. Shane, bad idea. If the Gamecocks say they play Old Dominion, and I think they play Akron. I think Akron's also in the month of September, if I remember correctly. But if they're like 2-2 with losses, say on the road at Kentucky and at home against LSU, and they've beaten Akron and Old Dominion, and people are going, we're not going to be able to play. Sellers needs more time. Are people willing to wait that out? and say, all right, Shane, you're tied to Lenore Sellers. Next year's a learning year for him because he really didn't get a lot of snaps this year to say that was one thing about going to a bowl game is the fact that maybe he could have started that bowl game and played a full game. That's what I wonder about because it's hard for me to say, oh, yeah, redshirt freshman quarterback's instantly going to turn this thing around with that schedule next year to 7 or 8 wins.
Yeah, but there's no guarantee. We just had
there's no guarantee.
We just had Spencer Rattler, who's better than Arkansas quarterback. What's his name?
KJ Jefferson.
Better than KJ Jefferson. We just had Spencer Rattler. And we won. How many games did we win this
5,
year?
Yep.
5. So we bring in CJ. We win 5 games again, except now you ruined the credibility and the trust of your locker room. Hope it's worth it. Good luck.
My gut is that, I mean, it might not matter because if he only wins 5 or 4 next year,
Shane's not going.
I don't know in this new era. I don't know in this new era. I agree with should he be given a 5th year regardless, unless it's like a 2-10 or 3-9, and it just the wheel players are transferring out left and right, and it just looks really ugly.
Mm-hmm.
Like it started to look because I was under the impression with Will Muschamp that he would get the year after COVID, but it started looking so ugly, and the forecast looked so gloomy, doom and gloom for the next year of Muschamp's tenure that there was no way that they could keep him. Fans were completely checked out. Fans today, I know as we sit here, there's still raw emotion from the Clemson game. We'll let Brad Crawford give his report.
Let's hear what the report is.
We'll let him get into it a little bit. 803-404-6100. There's a lot, not just as it relates to South Carolina. There's a lot to get into with this transfer portal. Grayson McCall entering the transfer portal yesterday. A lot of rumors he's going to end up at Auburn with Hugh Freeze.
I need anybody out there listening within the sound of our voices. If you have very crude Photoshop skills, I need your recruitment.
Oh, good Lord.
I have an idea.
803-404.
I have no skills to complete this idea, though.
803-404-6100. You're listening to Preston Thorne, Bill Gunner, she's Jen Jensen. It's the early game.
Ever sit in this meeting?
What would you say?
You okay with doing Absolute Glass? If not, Bill could do a AAA.
People, can't you understand that?
Think to yourself, man, I'd rather be listening to the game.
You're listening to Bill Gunner, Preston Thorne, Jen Jensen. It's the early game.
Well, just go to iTunes or Google Play and download our app on all of your devices, and you'll never be without the game again.
Preston, let me tell you about my friends at Absolute Glass, the premier glass company of the Midlands, offering auto, home, and business glass repair. So if your glass is damaged, shattered, cracked, or broken, they can handle the job. They'll come out to you and they'll give you a free quote for any job. That means they'll come to your office, they'll come to your home, they'll come to your friend's home. Wherever you are, they will come to you and give you a free quote for any job. If it's a cracked windshield, that's no problem. They'll replace it for you, usually for free, and they'll work directly with your insurance to take away the headache. Now, if you're looking to increase the value of your home with new windows or mirrors, Absolute Glass will come out and take care of that for you also. Windows, mirrors, shower enclosure, it doesn't matter. As you hear me say all the time, if you can see through it, Ray and Marianne at Absolute Glass can do it. So check them out online at AbsoluteGlassInc.com. That's online at AbsoluteGlassInc.com.
What you're talking about. Sponsored by Love Chevrolet. No pressure buying. Best in class service. And a $1,000 low price guarantee. The season's always better in a Love Chevrolet. I-26 at Harbison and at lovechevy.com. Find new roads.
South Carolina fans, this is Spencer Rattler. The Garnet Trust is making a difference by connecting fans like you with athletes like me through NIL deals. Head on over to garnettrust.com to find out how you can support me and my teammates for as little as $10.
Hey, South Carolina, Scott here from Traditions Fine Jewelers. By now, you've probably heard our ads announcing the fact that we now have our own lab diamond growing machine. What does that mean for you? Well, first, it means we can control the visual quality of the diamonds we sell so that every diamond meets our exact color and clarity standard. Second, we can now sell made-to-order diamonds like a 2.14 carat if you want to propose on Valentine's Day. And third, being a grower means that we're at the very top of the supply chain with absolutely no middleman markup. So we can offer 1 carat total weight studs for just $7.99 or 2 carat total weight studs for just $16.99. And if it's her very first pair, How about quarter carat total weights for just $149? Being a grower means the highest quality at the lowest price.
Only at Traditions Fine Jewelers, South Carolina's first lab-grown diamond grower, in Lexington and at Sand Hills, where the Midlands get engaged.
Call Lawyer Lisa. Experience the difference with Lawyer Lisa.
Hi, this is Lisa Hostetler Brown. If you or a loved one are over 65 and haven't completed a long-term care planning consultation, now is the time. Did you know that if you aren't able to afford the high cost of skilled care, your assets can be rapidly depleted to only $2,000 unless you plan 5 years in advance? Visit lawyerlisa.com to see how we can help.
7511 St. Andrews Road, Irmo, South Carolina.
Pete Wine Pool and Spa is your hometown hot tub dealer where sales and service go hand in hand. If you've been thinking about buying a hot tub, come check out our full line of hot tubs and explore the benefits of hydrotherapy, which includes stress relief and increased blood flow and promotes overall health and well-being. Models start as low as $5,000. Pete Wine Pool and Spa, 5541 Sunset Boulevard. You'll find us on Facebook or online at PeteLWinePools.com.
The lottery is not about getting rich, it's about helping people and always has been. In South Carolina, it's what generates millions of dollars each year for scholarships and educational programs across the state. The South Carolina Education Lottery is investing in you. Visit seeducationlottery.com/betteryou to learn more.
Columbia Craft is having its 6th year celebration on Saturday, December 2nd. Columbia Craft is having a party to thank Columbia for its support over the last 6 years. Food trucks on site, live music, custom glassware, and new beer releases. Come join the fun at Columbia Craft on Green Street this Saturday from noon and goes all day. And good news, Talk to Me Rooster Sour IPA, available in 4-packs. Draft coming soon. Don't miss the celebration this Saturday at Columbia Craft on Green Street. Thanks, Columbia, for an incredible 6 years.
WIS-TV First Alert Traffic.
And your traffic conditions out there this morning, it's looking like no major slowdowns at this time. So that's really good news. Not reporting any. We do actually have an accident that just literally popped up, and that's I-20 westbound at Monticello Road. And actually another one, I-20 westbound at exit 98 in Kershaw County. The right lane is currently blocked. But as far as your forecast goes, a warming trend is on the way. 61 for the high today. That overnight low won't be so cold tomorrow, 38. And then Friday, we're looking for 67 for the high and some afternoon or evening showers and off and on rain throughout the weekend with highs in the upper 60s. Right now, though, it is still cold. It's 30 on the early game.
What you're talking about. Sponsored by Love Chevrolet.
On your home of the Gamecocks in Columbia, 107.5 The Game.
Also heard on 100.3 The Game in Myrtle Beach and 100.5 The Game in Florence.
.34 on a Thursday morning. We might just have every morning the transfer portal. You insert the morning. Transfer portal Monday, transfer portal Tuesday, transfer portal Wednesday. You get the point. Today would be transfer portal Thursday. And yesterday, it really escalated. Joining us now to get into a little bit of that, Brad Crawford of 24/7 Sports. I understand, Preston, we are very lucky this morning because today was technically Brad's day off, but he got up to join us, and with a new little one running around the house and being dad, we appreciate that, Brad. We don't take your efforts lightly this morning.
Bill, no problem at all, man. It is college football free agency full tilt right now, and I don't have any days off anyway at this point of the year, man.
Let's get into that real quick. Let's start, and Preston and I will get more into this later, but basically Nebraska's Matt Rule yesterday going pretty in-depth, saying developing on preferred. Matt Rule saying he prefers developing his own players over the portal, and also saying make no mistake that a good quarterback in the portal costs $1 million to 1.5 to 2 million right now. So we're all on the same page. Brad, I mean, I'm not just talking about one particular quarterback. Yesterday, Riley Leonard entered, Grayson McCall entered. We'll get to KJ Jefferson in just a second. How do you take that comment from Matt Rule?
Yeah, it might cost $2 million to throw passes in a Marcus Satterfield offense, but I don't know if that's the going rate for the current quarterbacks available. Bill, last season we had several big names. Devin Leary was at the top of that list. Obviously, Sam Hartman. For a guy like Sam Hartman, who had about 90 career touchdowns before transferring to Notre Dame, I think he was about at that rate. Spencer Rattler, former South Carolina quarterback now, him too. But right now, I don't think there's the huge names in the portal at the position that command that kind of, let's go ahead and say it, salary. Maybe that changes next week, though. There's still some big names out there. And even at a place like Georgia, they're currently negotiating with Carson Beck to make sure they keep their current starting quarterback. So it's craziness right now, but it is a good time to be a serviceable or starting quarterback right now at a Power 5 level, because you can essentially make yourself available and make the current team you're on pay you.
Let's get to your report now, because this is the other thing. And I'm going to start with your report, and I'm going to ask you your opinion. But your report yesterday, KJ Jefferson, if he is to enter the transfer portal, South Carolina would be a destination he might prefer. His relationship with Dow Loggins. What more can you share with this information right now?
Yeah, the expectation is several sources I've spoken with expect KJ Jefferson to enter the portal some point this week, maybe next. And as I reported yesterday, the Gamecocks would be his leader. He has informed that side that he likes South Carolina. He thinks he's a fit in that offense, given the connection to Dowell and, a skill set similar to 2024's expected starter, Lenore Sellers. Now that being said, I think if Jefferson enters the portal, he's going to do so with a team in mind. Quarterbacks now sometimes enter the portal with do not contact tags. That's what Riley Leonard at Duke did yesterday, meaning he already knows where he's going to go. The Gamecocks' plan right now is to sign a portal quarterback. But obviously, if Jefferson does not enter, he's going to stay put in Fayetteville, and Arkansas has probably matched an offer. So, you have to think, Bill, that most of these players now, us as media are talking to these guys through essentially liaisons between coaches and handlers and that sort of thing. It truly is the Wild West, and it feels like college football free agency. And this could also just be a ploy from KJ's side of things to kind of see what the market is for him.
I hate how what you phrased is 100% right. And how much of it is what you just said, almost testing free agency, testing the market, seeing the value. How much of that isn't just at the quarterback position, but across college football right now with key players almost testing the market to see what their value is, much like we've seen in the NBA, the NFL, Major League Baseball. I mean, it's essentially, with the way you worded it, a pro sport.
And it happens big time at four positions, quarterback being one, wide receivers, slash playmaker type positions, defensive tackle, and offensive line. Those are the four positions that every major program is, sort of sending feelers out. They have an idea of who may enter, who may not. So those are the four positions. And, South Carolina's no different. They're going to look at those four positions too and try to sign guys. But offensive and defensive linemen, man, it's the toughest position to recruit in the portal because everybody wants you.
Let's go back to South Carolina right now. Obviously, the other news, Tanner Bailey and Colton Gauthier yesterday announcing their intentions to transfer. That leaves Lenore Sellers. It leaves, I assume, Luke Doty and Dante Reno as the quarterbacks now in that room. The problem here, I think, Preston and Brad, is a lot of these quarterbacks, they're not transferring to sit the bench. I'm sure you can find a guy or two out there that maybe is willing to come in, but to go hit the transfer portal for a quarterback now is very difficult because KJ Jefferson's not coming to sit the bench. Grayson McCall is not transferring somewhere to sit the bench. Riley Leonard, you can go on and on and on. What is your opinion of what South Carolina should do now, given the news yesterday that you lose a Tanner Bailey and obviously Colton Gauthier, who I think had only thrown 3 or 4 career passes anyway?
Yeah, I think the Gamecocks have to go into the 2024 season, probably even spring practice, Bill, with at least 4 scholarship quarterbacks. You know, the plan all along, I think even before yesterday with all the departures, was to sign a quarterback, maybe not somebody of KJ Jefferson or Grayson McCall's caliber, because the coaching staff, and I've been told by several, they are super confident in Lenora Sellers. However, if you lose Lenora Sellers to an injury, or maybe his development is not where it needs to be 7 or 8 months from now, you also want to have a guy who can win SEC football games. A player like KJ Jefferson has done that. He's got 88 career touchdowns. A player like Grayson McCall has beaten decent teams in his career, and prior to his injury at Coastal this year, you know, had crazy talented touchdown interception ratio. So there are some names that I think fit South Carolina's pedigree and Dow Loggins' offense, and I do expect them to sign a quarterback, even if it's not a, you know, KJ or a Grayson McCall.
How big, this is going to circle back to the other question, how big is 2024 for Shane Beamer? Obviously 2-10, 3-9 really alters what maybe people think and whether he gets a 5th year. But that would be my thing. Do you go into next year with an unproven guy, a lot of hype, but unproven, or do you try and get a guy who has SEC background pedigree because you feel you are on the hot seat in 2024?
Yeah, if you don't go out and spend this offseason on a potential QB1 ahead of Lenora Sellers, then I think that shows that Shane Beamer and the rest of that coaching staff are putting their eggs in Lenora Sellers' basket to be a difference maker at the position. Now, you know, Gamecocks need to be good, not just at quarterback. They have to be better at the offensive line. The plan is to sign a couple running backs this transfer portal cycle. And, you know, right now with 2 off seasons basically under his belt in this crazy portal, you know, Shane Beamer's 1 for 2. He's gotten really talented guys like Spencer Rattler and Juice Wells, and then last cycle was kind of a whiff in terms of impact players. So this next 3 to 4 weeks, Bill, is huge for Shane Beamer's future. I think it's huge for the Gamecocks' potential success in 2024. And, you know, I've said all along that coaches no longer get these 5 and 6 year plans to turn things around, especially at a program like South Carolina / a major Power 5. So, you know, if we're having the same conversation next year and the Gamecocks are 5 and 7, then certainly I think Shane Beamer, you know, may not have the brightest future in Columbia.
Final question for you, about a minute here. Just Riley Leonard, Grayson McCall, any kind of word, rumors out there on what might be a likely destination?
Yeah, I'm almost 100% sure that since Riley Leonard has that do not contact tag, that he's made his mind up, and I think that school is Notre Dame. Marcus Freeman went out last year and got a 1-year rental on Sam Hartman, and they went 9-3, and I think Riley Leonard could potentially have the same kind of production that Hartman had in South Bend. A lot of folks are saying A&M's in the mix, but because of Mike Elko hire, but to be honest with you, everybody I've talked to in College Station is super comfortable with Connor Weigman, the former 5-star quarterback there, and he was having a very good year efficiency-wise before he got hurt in late September. So I think Riley Leonard is going to be at Notre Dame, and Grayson McCall. I don't have any inside intel on him other than Jamie Chadwell might be looking for a quarterback at Liberty here in a couple of weeks once that AAC championship game's over on Saturday.
Brad, we always appreciate it, man.
Appreciate
it. A lot of good information there, and certainly something to watch now as we go into the month of December. Appreciate all you do, buddy, and have a great Christmas if we don't talk to you before then.
Yeah, have a good weekend too, fellas.
Yes, sir.
803-404-6100. We'll get into all that. Let you weigh in on your takes.
Buddy.
You're listening to Preston Thorne, Bill Gunner, Jen Jensen. It's the early game.
107.5 The Game on demand podcast menu.
Sponsored by Lexington Orthopedics and Sports Medicine.
If you're dealing with injuries or pain, our team is here to get you better sooner.
On the home of the Gamecocks, 107.5 The Game.
This is Boomer Science with the CBS Sports Minute, sponsored by Fairfield by Marriott, official hotel partner of the NCAA. Duke quarterback Riley Leonard entered the transfer portal yesterday, begging the question, what's he worth? According to Nebraska's Matt Rule, a good quarterback in the portal costs $1 million to $2 million right now, adding that some schools have players earning $6 and $7 million in name, image, and likeness deals. So where is all the money coming from? That's a good question. And boy, I hope they have financial advisors to handle it. I'm Boomer Science. CBS Sports Radio.
Get the home field advantage every time with Fairfield by Marriott, official hotel partner of the NCAA. Whether you're a student athlete working toward your championship dreams or your team's biggest fan, Fairfield by Marriott has everything you need to get ready for game day. From comfortable guest rooms to complimentary hot breakfast, Fairfield is part of the Marriott Bonvoy portfolio of hotels and official hotel partner of the NCAA. Visit fairfield.marriott.com to book your next game day stay.
Thursday night football is on, and it's only on Prime. Tonight, it's a matchup between two of the NFC's most exciting teams when Geno Smith and the Seattle Seahawks take on Dak Prescott and the Dallas Cowboys. Not a Prime member? Sign up for a 30-day free trial to stream the game. Coverage begins at 7 p.m. Eastern with TNF Tonight, presented by Verizon. It's the Seahawks and the Cowboys on Thursday night football, and it's on Prime. Restrictions apply. See Amazon.com/Amazon Prime for details.
Save the date. Join Canty Foundation Specialists and the United Way of Kershaw County on February 24th in Camden for the Caring Hearts benefit. There will be live music by the Mike Veal Band and Camden's own Megan Davis. Dance the night away, enjoy an open bar, and savor food catered by Lilfred's. Canty Foundation Specialists and the UWKC are coming together to raise funds for New Day Transitional Housing, helping families get a fresh start and a second chance. Tickets are available at Eventbrite under Caring Hearts benefit or uwkc.net. Let's make a difference together.
Every lottery ticket purchase keeps education in our state moving forward. In fact, the lottery has raised more than $200 million for state school buses to get our students to school safely every day. Then, the lottery helps those students go even further in their education by funding the Life, Hope, and Palmetto Fellow Scholarships. So remember, when you play the lottery, you're keeping South Carolina students on the road to success. Learn more at sceducationlottery.com/betteryou.
Paid actor portrayal.
Life can be so unpredictable. After losing my dad, it made me think about my family if something were to happen to me. I had heard about life insurance through Ethos and how easy it was to get coverage. They were right. In 10 minutes, I was covered. And boom, family protected.
Ethos fast and easy online term life insurance up to $2 million in coverage with no medical exam. Some policies as low as $1 a day. Answer a few health questions and get your free quote at checkethos.com. That's checkethos.com.
As a mom, comforting my family is what I do best. Vicks Vapor Stick provides soothing, non-medicated Vicks vapors in an easy-to-apply stick. And it dries fast, so there's no mess. I use it to comfort myself and my family.
Thanks, Mom.
Vicks Vapo Stick, soothing comfort for the whole family. And when you need more comfort for yourself, try Vicks Vapo Shower for steamy Vicks vapors.
Use as directed. Vapo Stick for use ages 4 and up. Vapo Shower use for adults only.
The early game
with Bill Gunter, Preston Thorne, and Shen Jensen.
Your home of the Gamecocks in Columbia. 107.5 The Game.
Also heard on 100.3 The Game in Myrtle Beach and 100.5 The Game in Florence.
$6:49 on a Thursday morning.
Transfer portal Tuesday on a Thursday.
I look, let me be clear about this, because the easiest thing in the world, because we see it, Preston and I, we heard it, we see it, and the old Deion Sanders, we should just keep receipts, right? Like people who weigh in, and there's been a lot of you through the first 9 hours of this program this week, Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday, who are like threatening Shane Beamer, like, get it fixed or else, buddy. Coming to your house with moving signs. I'm not saying that Shane Beamer should be fired really within the next 2 years. I think he gets 4 and 5 to get South Carolina back to a bowl, and he should. He should, what he did in the first 2 years. But there's a lot of you that take the extreme, and the easiest thing in the world is to now say, no, go with Lenora Sellers. No, I don't want to see KJ Jefferson. And then we get to September, maybe things haven't gone as well because he's a redshirt freshman. He's made a few mistakes, and South Carolina's at 2-2. And some of y'all forget that I can go back and look at text messages from December. It takes a while, though. I don't really care to do it, but I can go back and pull receipts and be like, hey, didn't you say this back in November? You were like, no, play Lenora Sellers. Don't go get KJ Jefferson. It's a discussion now that it's a discussion now that really I think what you're trying to do is go, okay, what are we looking for? There's no bowl game to talk about. So what are we looking for 2024? Look, the schedule is going to be difficult every year, right, Preston Thorne?
You're in the SEC. That's why you're here.
So you know who you're playing. You know you've got trips to Kentucky, Alabama, Oklahoma, and Vanderbilt. That's your 4 conference away games. You've got Missouri, Ole Miss, LSU, and Texas A&M here. I don't know what Texas A&M is. I have zero clue what Texas A&M is going to be next year. The schedule's always going to be tough. And then you throw in Clemson. So 9 games against SEC competition plus Clemson. That's a difficult schedule. Even with KJ Jefferson, it's not like you're guaranteed, or any transfer quarterback for that matter. We just, because of the report from Brad Crawford, use him. You're not guaranteed a winning record, as you pointed out with Spencer Rattler. There's a lot of things South Carolina has to fix, right?
Yes, absolutely.
But it is, that's why I throw it out there this morning. Like, if you develop a player, which I like, and that's what Dabo Swinney has done, if you allow Lenore Sellers to develop, are you okay with a 5-7 season next year? You're not going to jump up. You're not going to go crazy next December and go, well, you should have taken the guy last year. You knew what you had. Don't do that. We'll keep receipts.
Okay.
We'll keep the receipts.
Bills keeping receipts. All right. I like it. A lot of stuff for silly season. This is perfect. Because we're all gonna
You look so happy. You're like a kid on Christmas morning.
This is so fun for me. It's because we all have to expose our hypocrisies. All these raw feelings come out about what we like. We get into nostalgia and all these things about what the game used to be. And Matt Rule's out here throwing out fake numbers. Matt, this is from Preston Thorne, Columbia, South Carolina. Check this out. Unless you have a person, a place, or a specific name, or any of you coaches, please stop doing this. It's ridiculous because they've just allowed them to just. First off, he gave a range of $1 million. There's a big difference between $1 and $2 million. He said that was a loaf of bread is like $3.99 or $4.50. He said $1 or $2 million. Like, that's not a difference. Like, people gonna be like, oh yeah, another $1 million, no problem. You can't just.
You can be a bad quarterback, get $2 million, and be set for life. You legitimately can be safe. If you have a good money manager.
What is he talking about? He's just like, oh, we're all on the same page, right? No, Matt, we're not on the same page because we don't know what you're talking about. You're just rattling off random numbers, and people, because you're Matt Rule, people accept that as gospel. Hey, Matt, how much money does it cost for a retread coach that got fired from the NFL? $11 million? Is that what the going price is for you? Get out of here, man. I don't like these coaches just being able to ramble off random numbers out of nowhere just because this is what we heard. And we cannot just take this as gospel because they said it.
It's wild. It is wild. I understand what you're saying. And I don't know, maybe Matt Rule's already setting up his fan base. Sorry, guys. You're stuck with Marcus Satterfield and whomever we got at quarterback because we don't have $2 million to pay.
And everybody's going to say, oh, well, we don't have the money like everybody else, so we can't get a decent quarterback. Brad with a great answer. Yeah, it probably costs $4 million to get a quarterback to be successful in that offense.
We'll get into a lot of this again. The Matt Rule comments.
$1 to $2 million.
My thing is this is, and where I am being serious and where I'm taking my stand is I do think this is the fork in the road for South Carolina in terms of development. Like
I like this.
Look at what Notre Dame's doing. It's almost because Riley Leonard is fully expected to end up at Notre Dame.
Which, by the way, I wrote that down. He has a do not contact tag. Does that mean he hasn't been contacted yet? Oh, our pure Notre Dame, they're not playing around in the portal a little bit?
Sent a carrier pigeon to Durham with a note on it. Like, I don't know how that got there.
Who would have known?
I do think this is where I get serious, and this is my stance on this. I think this is a fork in the road. I'm not sure what direction I would take. Thank goodness I don't have to I can sit here and analyze it.
I agree.
But you're right. Look, again, I bring up Notre Dame because they just went Sam Hartman. Didn't work out probably like they wanted. Now you're not going to play a developed quarterback or recruiter. You're going to go to the portal again to get a one-year assassin in Riley Leonard. That appears to be the direction Notre Dame wants to go. We'll get more into that. 803-404-6100. Interesting discussion this morning. You weigh in as well. You're listening to the early game. Bill Gunner for AAA Heating and Air. That's right. It has been quite chilly these last few days. I've had the heating unit working exceptionally well in the house, all because last February I figured it was time to upgrade. And there was only one company I trusted, AAA Heating and Air. Give them a phone call today. And if you're in the market for a brand new heating and air unit, now is the time to contact Roy and Dana Finley with AAA Heating and Air. They've taken care of my family, and they will do the exact same for you, including if you're 62 years of age or older. Give AAA Heating and Air a call today, 803-677-1500. You can get a complimentary heating unit checkup. There's going to be colder days ahead of us. So if you're 62 years of age or older, contact AAA Heating and Air today, 803-677-1500, and get a complimentary heating unit checkup. Again, 803-677-1500. Contact AAA Heating and Air. Tell them you heard it here with Bill Gunner.
107.5 The Game, broadcasting live from the Herndon Chevrolet Studios.
Discover Herndon Certified. Herndon Chevrolet's premier used car warranty. Shop with complete confidence knowing Herndon Chevrolet has got you covered.
Stop by or shop online today and see why Herndon Chevrolet makes you smile.
Introducing Chumba Casino, the thrilling online social casino that's free to play. Head on over to ChumbaCasino.com now to join in on the fun. No purchase necessary. VGW Group. Void where prohibited by law. See terms and conditions. 18+.
Hi, Scott here from Traditions Fine Jewelry with important news if you're in the market for diamond jewelry. For years, we've been building relationships with some of the largest diamond dealers and diamond cutters in the world so we could offer the best possible value to our customers. As lab-grown diamonds have become more and more popular, we've also created fantastic relationships with growers and cutters in that category too. But now, we've taken an even bigger step by accepting our very own growing machine in the 2 million square foot Surreal Super Lab in Surat, India. By growing our own diamonds, we can now eliminate middleman markups while offering the highest clarity and color in sizes up to 17 carats. We can even grow your diamond to order. So now, whether you're in the market for earth-mined or lab-grown diamonds, you just got to come see us.
Only at Traditions Fine Jewelers, South Carolina's first lab-grown diamond grower, in Lexington and at Sand Hills, where the Midlands get engaged.
The annoying runny nose, the constant sneezing, the itchiness, and battle just to catch your breath. If you suffer from seasonal allergies, sinusitis, or nagging sinus congestion, there's a natural, easy-to-use solution that can help provide fast, drug-free relief. It's called Navage, and it uses powered suction to rinse your nasal passages in seconds. Millions of people use Navage daily to help provide relief from seasonal allergies and sinus congestion. Medications treat the symptoms, but Navage treats the problem at the source, flushing out the allergens and pollen trapped in your nose. Navage also helps wash out airborne bacteria, dust, dirt, and viruses quickly and painlessly, so you can get back to breathing clearly again. Say goodbye to sinus suffering and hello to better breathing with Navage. Navage is available at Walmart, Walgreens, Target, CVS, Rite Aid, and online at Navage.com. Navage, N-A-V-A-G-E. Clean nose, healthy life.
Hi, I'm Glenn Matthews,
And I'm Melanie Matthews.
and we are the third generation owners of Modern Exterminating Company.
In a time when corporate consolidation, high-pressure door knockers, and inexperienced startups are becoming the norm, isn't it nice to have an experienced, local, family-owned company that you can count on since 1955?
Modern Exterminating has been the local, independent industry leader in the pest control business for the last 67 years. Experience the local, family-owned difference for yourself at 803-765-2315 or pestfreesc.com.
WIS-TV First Alert Traffic.
And basically, we're looking at an accident, I-20 westbound at exit 98. Aside from that, things moving along fairly well.
East over Columbia.
This is Gamecock quarterback Spencer Rattler, and you're listening to 107.5 The Game, the home of the Gamecocks.
A Cumulus media station.
The early game
With Bill Gunter.
I love this photo.
Former Gamecock Preston Thorne and Jen Jensen.
My eyes look phenomenal. The blue in my eye stands out so well.
The day of the photos, I believe the quote was, "I love how it makes my eyes pop."
My eyes, yeah.
It does.
Your home of the Gamecocks in Columbia. 107.5 The Game.
I love me some me.
Also heard on 100.3 The Game in Myrtle Beach.
The theme of this show. I don't know what happened.
And 100.5 The Game in Florence.
someone who's instant impact upgrade, like someone who can make a difference. Make no mistake that a good quarterback in the portal costs, $1 million to $1.5 million to $2 million right now. So just on the same page, right? So let's make sure we all understand what's happening. So there's some teams that have $6 or $7 million players playing for them. So
who, Matt? Who? Please tell us. Some teams. Many people are saying, what are we talking about? Would you want Matt to be like your real estate agent? Like, this house is going to cost $400,000, $600,000, $800,000, something like
something.
That. It'll be something just so we're clear.
Jen, is that accepted in the real estate profession? $400,000 to $800,000. I'm not
sure. Yeah. Yeah, we can negotiate anything.
So what is it? That's
Not
the
so
equivalent.
much.
That's the equivalent of taking someone into a neighborhood and be like, houses here range from $300,000 to $900,000, somewhere in that ballpark.
Yeah. Yeah.
Just so we're clear.
Yeah. Not so much.
We haven't peaked, right? We haven't, and I don't even mean this season. I'm not talking about December of 2023. We haven't hit peak silliness for the transfer portal. You were kind of hitting on this. It's year 5. You have to embrace it, or I shouldn't say embrace it, but you have to deal with it. We all have to do. I don't think anybody likes this. I don't think any of you listening are like, I like this transfer portal nonsense that's happening. Oh, Riley Leonard just being able to up and leave Duke. Now, I do give Riley Leonard as an exception. I do think you should, if your coach leaves, I think you should be able to leave. I think that is giving players a little bit of power. Riley Leonard is an exception. His head football coach has gone on to Texas A&M. I'm okay with that. Grayson McCall leaving, that would be a little bit different. You're Tim Beck. You're looking down there. You go, okay, we got Grayson McCall back for his last year. I can make a run. We were almost conference champions or almost divisional champions this year. You feel good. Grayson McCall says, sorry, man. Final year. Go play in the SEC. I'm going to probably go play with Hugh Freeze.
Well,
that's a good one.
And I have, I guess, as far as from a coaching perspective, it makes me curious. Okay, they say, well, you need to get somebody who could be an SEC level quarterback, so if Lenora Sellers is the guy, but you want to maybe bring in a KJ Jefferson, well, KJ probably feels like he should be the primary. And
exactly.
Then, so is he going to want to leave? Like, can you ever have 2 top-notch quarterbacks? Because they're both going to want to play, and they can both just up and go at any point in time. Like, since there's nothing that's holding anybody there. So how do you ever have a deeper bench?
David on our live stream brings up something that really has this. Where we get funny on this program. We like to joke and cut up. This is a serious comment. I love football recruiting. I loved football recruiting when I was in college. And Preston, I would see these guys. You and I have talked about players that you're very familiar with. And I remember reading the updates from Phil Kornblut or from Rivals or from whatever. I remember being excited about your buddy Sean Smith and trying to explain that to my aunt one time. I remember being excited about like Randy Jackson, Jabari Levy, these big time prospects, obviously. I mean, I can even go way back in the day when I really started listening to Phil Kornblut back in the 90s when South Carolina landed a running back named Rashawn Drayton out of Pennsylvania, never made it to campus, and barely missed out on a athlete / running back / wide receiver, Lavernius Coles, who went.
Right.
It came down to Florida State and South Carolina. I remember when South Carolina landed Keith Matkins, who was supposed to be the next quarterback for the University of South Carolina, and I think played like one series and then transferred and never developed into anything. Like, I remember all these days. Recruiting has always been a lot of fun to me.
To that point, I remember when Sean Smith was recruited also.
You definitely remember.
I remember when Randy Jackson was also recruited. I remember when a lot of people were recruiting because they were recruiting them to take my place.
Yes.
And so when everybody else was looking at like, oh, man, we're going to get this big-time recruit. I'm like, oh, boy.
Yeah, the person sitting to your right was one of those people. I'll raise my hand. Like,
like,
yeah, it was me. It was me. Not that I didn't like you. I was just like,
no. And I mean, Sean obviously went on and played 10 years in the NFL, and that's one of my good friends. And it ended up working well. I did not have the option to leave at the time. I wonder if I would have. I don't think I would have at the time. But that is the case where this has always been an idea of the teams are trying to out-recruit the talent that they have. That's always been.
Right.
And I think that's at least at the time, that was understood. That was part of the DNA. Like, you're coming in to replace the next person the same way they brought you in to replace the person before you. I don't know if that same understanding is had with, and it also is very different with quarterbacks, because even when they brought my guy Sean in, even if he was to play ahead of me, it was still a chance that I was still going to get snaps.
Right.
For quarterbacks, it's just usually one. And so that they're and also they've all been treated as the golden boy their whole lives.
Well, and in recruiting, a quarterback is essentially the face of the class.
Yes.
Like,
And rightfully so, because it is a very important position.
like Dylan Stewart is the highest rated recruit in this class for South Carolina, but Dante Reno committed exceptionally early. I'm getting a lot of feedback from y'all on the Firehouse Subs text line and on our live stream. So I forget who said it, but somebody weighed in earlier. I was like, man, does anybody realize how much the quarterback room has changed for Dante Reno since he committed to South Carolina versus where it is now that he's going to enroll next month?
I'll tell you this. Dante was not sad that Tanner and Colton transferred. He's not, oh, guys, please stay. Please stay.
Yeah, he's like, we're buddies. I met y'all last month, but you're good. Good luck wherever you're going.
Peace out.
And Ryan Montgomery, the quarterback that South Carolina's really pursuing in the 2025 class out of Findlay, Ohio, is a guy that is supposed to be the next, again, 4-star quarterback. Looks like maybe Florida or South Carolina for him right now. But I go back to what David said, and I kind of agree with him, and I hate this. David said, why would you get excited over any recruit when they can transfer anytime they want? And that's another part of it. Like, yeah, this Dylan Stewart recruit, that was huge for South. It's huge. I mean, it really is. To go to another state, get a 5-star athlete like that, much like they are 5-star defensive end, much like they went and got a 5-star athlete, Nick Harbor. Dylan Stewart's huge. He has a big year. You don't know. You're re-recruiting him next year. And with these quarterbacks, you're right. I don't know where it is. I appreciate, after watching Florida State and Clemson, I can appreciate what Dabo Swinney has done a little bit more with essentially going, yeah, I'm not going to bring in guys who almost demand to start, and if they can't beat out the guy in front of him, because we don't know that even if you brought in a KJ Jefferson, even if you brought him in, we don't know that Lenore Sellers doesn't beat him out. And then if that happens, I'm not sure KJ Jefferson is sitting over there on the sideline being the optimal teammate. And that's the scary part, is when you hit the transfer portal. Colorado this year is a great example. They got smashed at the end of the season, 56-14 by Washington State. 56-14 by Washington State. Washington State doesn't beat anybody 56-14, Preston. Who's to say those kids for Deion didn't just throw their hands up and be like, nah, man, we're done. Can't go to a bowl. Seasons, we've lost the season. Like, everything was going great, 3-0.
Well, there's an old adage that the old folks used to say in terms of dating, and this goes, you lose them how you got them. And so if you got them through some nefarious means and through the transfer portal and back channeling, don't be mad when you lose them like that also. So if that's the game you want to get into, I do think maybe more programs, maybe as Dabo has done, maybe we'll draw a line in the sand and just say that's not how we're going to do it, and we'll just live with the results that we have. We'll see. It depends on what game you want to play.
It's again with this, and now you're seeing it more kids. I'm sure today will be another wild day. It's hard to, it really is. It's hard to keep up with what's happening.
And the point you brought about, but what's real, what's not, is, is this coming from an official source? Is this coming from the player's actual account? Is the player's actual account really this person?
True.
Who knows?
Yeah, at this point, they might have social media coordinators for them, just handing over their phone.
Maybe I would say that's the best case scenario. Worst case scenario is just some random person who's KJ Jefferson's in KJ Jefferson's and said that he's going to South Carolina and not the actual count. I don't know. It is a very much unregulated world out there.
What I will say, if there is one thing, and I've said this several times, so it's not a new hot take, if all this does result in what we are seeing, which is, to me, more parity in college football. Look at Georgia's quarterback situation. I don't know how they're going to manage that. That you want a perfect example of where this could benefit other programs. Gunnar Stockton, who we're all very familiar with having been committed to South Carolina and transferring, you got to imagine he's looking around. He's got Brock Vandergrift. Well, number one, he's got Carson Beck in front of him with another year, but he's got Brock Vandergrift probably in front of him, who was a former 5-star. Stockton was a high 4-star, if not a 5-star, on a few different levels. And coming in behind Gunnar Stockton is one of the top 3 players in the country, depending on which website, which recruiting ranking you want to look at, in Dylan Raiola, the quarterback, the number 1 quarterback in the country now. And again, top 3 player overall. If you're Gunnar Stockton and you're like, man, I'm going to compete for I know these kids. I know how kids are. I get it. These kids are, Stockton or everybody's probably looking around going, oh, I can beat that. I'm better than that guy. I can beat that guy out.
Of course.
But at some point, reality sets in.
Yes. And you look and you say, oh, I'm 3rd. I didn't plan on this working out like that. And the coaches, they sell the idea of open competition, which for the most part, there probably is. But at that point, they all know also that there is going to be a pecking order especially as I keep reiterating, a quarterback room where there's not snaps to go around. There might be small packages that you can have, but you're not going to – depth in a quarterback room is sort of a misnomer because only one person can play unless they get injured.
Yeah, just for the record, Stockton in his now career, now he redshirted his first year, didn't play, threw 9 passes this year. If he's looking around, is he going, And then the question becomes, is taking him with, I think it would be 3 years of eligibility, is taking a Gunnar Stockton a better option than taking a high school quarterback? Now if you can get an elite high school quarterback, one of the top 5 or 6, there's a lot of things with this transfer portal. And the question that I kind of have for you again is we're not even close to peak silliness just yet, right?
Absolutely.
And I don't mean in this upcoming month. I mean overall, like this thing might peak out as in 2025, 2026 of players, just like almost every player going into the portal to test their worth.
Yeah, they might. And Brad Crawford said it. There might be a deal where the player is testing their worth. And I don't like that, but that's not any different than what Mark Stoops just did as a coach when he went out there and flirted with this job, ended up not taking it, whether he was going to take it or not. All these coaches that have their agents put their names in the conversations to get contract extensions. Everybody has it's sort of an idea of like when the rabbit gets the gun, and now people don't necessarily like it. Because I don't think it's best for the players in their personal development or their professional development either. But this is where it is.
We'll get it. It's again, Brian Edwards coming up at 8:30 this morning to give us our Vegas picks for the championship weekend. But obviously, a lot of things to discuss as it pertains to the transfer portal this morning.
As last break, I was thinking, can you imagine Riley Leonard going from the hallowed halls of Duke to Texas A&M? You think he'd just be looking around like, I don't know what's going on with these people down here.
Yeah.
This is a strange scenario.
I
can see there's a pipeline from Duke to Notre Dame. That feels
right.
That feels better.
Okay.
That feels better than Duke to Texas A&M. That's a different culture shock would be a minor thing.
We will get into more of this, but let's talk a little bit about Spencer Rattler. What's his legacy at South Carolina as he makes his announcement? We'll get into that. 803-404-6100 if you want to weigh in this morning. You're listening to Preston Thorne, Bill Gunner, she's Jen Jensen. It's the early game.
Yes, that phone in your pocket or purse will keep you in touch with your family and friends. It will take great selfies of you on amazing adventures or just this morning's breakfast. And it's pretty good in case of an emergency. But the single most important function of your phone is the game.
But both defenses have been this year. What's so funny?
The noise. You can listen anywhere. Just go to iTunes or Google Play and download the Game app now. Broadcasting live from the Herndon Chevrolet Studios. This is 107.5 The Game.
A great selection of new Chevys is available now at Herndon Chevrolet. The lot is packed with inventory and more is on the way. So shop your hometown Chevy dealer today.
Stop by or shop online today and see why Herndon Chevrolet makes you smile.
For whatever you may want, in most any kind of sport, car and more is where it begins. It's the Christmas kickoff sale where Todd Moore has hundreds of gift ideas for men, women, and children. Shoes, apparel, equipment, and more. Name brands you'll love and selections for every budget. From football, baseball, and basketball to tennis, pickleball, and soccer, Todd Moore has the best selection and prices. Todd Moore, 620 Hugie Street at Blossom near the campus.
Equipment for your sport, from the diamond to the court, Todd and Moore is where it begins.
Remodeling, just the thought of it can be a little scary. I'm Eddie Springer of Trey Cow Builders, and we understand. Many of our clients come to us after a bad experience, from no-show contractors to shoddy work. We've seen it all. Trey Cow is different. We do first-class work quickly, cleanly, and affordably. With Trey Cow, remodeling's easy. Call 360-8211, 360-8211, or visit trecalbuilders.com. Quality from start to finish.
Do you know the secret to losing up to 1 pound of fat every day? I'm Dr. Mark Bentley with Columbia Secret for Weight Loss, and I know the secret. Our unique weight loss program makes it easy to lose weight, get healthy, and get your energy back naturally, safely, and effectively. If you'd like to lose unhealthy fat without counting points or calories, no exercising, no prepackaged or boxed meals, no surgery, and no hypnosis, call my office now at 803-824-4210.
Columbia's Secret for Weight Loss changed my life. I've lost over 50 pounds. Not only did I lose fat, I significantly lowered my A1C in making better choices that are sustainable. Throughout this program, the guidance and accountability help create a pathway to a healthier, better me.
Many patients lose 20 to 30 pounds in about a month. That's a half a pound to a pound per day. For your free private weight loss consultation, call 803-824-4210. That's 803-824-4210. Or ColumbiaSecretForWeightLoss.com.
At the Samuels Reynolds Law Firm, we know how serious injuries change people's lives. I'm Jason Reynolds. When you're involved in a major car or truck accident, my team is on your side. You don't have to be alone. Let's do this together.
And I'm Stephen Samuels. When you're hurt at work, my team is with you from start to finish. We're people with a passion for helping injured workers. Bring your case to us and stop the worry. We've got this.
Samuels Reynolds. True injuries, true lawyers. 803-779-4000.
Fall is officially here. Crisp mornings, breezy evenings, offering relief from the hot summer. But for some older folks, it also means it's time to fire up the heat. AAA Heating and Air wants to help our seniors make sure their heating systems are in tip-top shape for changing weather. That is why AAA Heating and Air is offering complimentary unit checkups to all senior citizens in our service area. If you are 62 years or older, call AAA Heating and Air at 803-677-1500 to schedule your appointment today and tell them Bill Gunner sent you.
AAA Air when you need us. AAA Heating and Air.
Hi, everybody. This is Woody Wyndham here to talk about Pioneer Tree Service. Pioneer Tree Service has more than 4 decades of helping homeowners maintain and manage trees on their property. Their skilled crew offers customized solutions that match your needs and budget. Tree trimming and tree removal can be dangerous. You need to trust the people that are doing the job. Before attempting to remove limbs, call Pioneer Tree Service for a free quote. They remove limbs safely and make sure that future growth is directed away from potential trouble areas such as roof lines and driveways. Cutting down trees takes more than a chainsaw. Even branches can weigh thousands of pounds, and their removal must be handled with care. Pioneer Tree Service offers a full complement of state-of-the-art heavy equipment, from track hose to bucket trucks to safely remove trees and stumps from your property. And no matter where you live, the Gantt girls can get there. And I want you to call them at 803-794-8253.
WIS-TV First Alert Traffic.
We have a report of an accident, I-26 eastbound at exit 91. Also, you find one Longs Pond Road near I-20. So do be careful out there this morning and enjoy a dry day, because after tomorrow, you're going to see some rain throughout the weekend. 61 for the high today under sunny skies, overnight low of 38. And tomorrow kicks off a weekend of upper 60s, even could hit 70 by Sunday, but we could see showers, periods of rain and showers throughout the weekend starting tomorrow evening. And then by Monday, rain should be tapering off. 64 will be our high. Right now, it's fair and it is 30. So bundle up on the early game.
The Early Game with Bill Gunter
Former Gamecock Preston Thorne.
and Jen Jensen, your home of the Gamecocks in Columbia. 107.5 The Game.
Also heard on 100.3 The Game in Myrtle Beach and 100.5 The Game in Florence.
$7:21 on your Thursday morning. Interesting transfer portal Thursday. We've kind of discussed the quarterback situation. I'll get back into that. Again, to me, it's not. It's about the direction Shane Beamer wants to take the program.
I think that's a really interesting premise.
Like I that's more of it than, and the only reason we're using KJ Jefferson is because Brad Crawford put that report out yesterday that if KJ Jefferson entered the transfer portal, that South Carolina appears to be his preferred destination because of his relationship with Dow Loggins. Look, I know a lot of you might be angry with Shane Beamer for not doing coaching moves now or doing this, that. From what I've heard across the country, really in the SEC, because players talk, you go to camps together, right? You do these things. There's a lot of respect amongst players for Shane Beamer. Not all. I'm sure there are some players that are out there for Kentucky or Tennessee or Clemson, but how Shane Beamer has handled players, how he has handled the locker room here, there's a lot of respect for him. And so, yes, there are people, especially when Spencer Rattler speaks out and puts out the message that he did yesterday, that a lot of players go, ooh, I'd be interested in playing for a coach like that. The question now becomes, does he want to go down the transfer path and maybe bring in somebody to compete with Lenore Sellers? Or did they see enough from Lenore Sellers this entire 2023, going back to when he enrolled, that they believe he's the guy to go to? And this question now comes up because 2 years ago, in 2021, we thought Luke Doty was going to be the starter. He got injured. He didn't quite live up to what he was supposed to be in 2021, Preston Thorne. And so the opportunity to go out and get Spencer Rattler, who, again, I remember sitting here in this studio and a lot of people go, don't take that guy. Have you seen him on that Netflix documentary? That attitude, he'll never make it here. There was a lot of you out there, not all of you, but there was a lot of people out there going, oh, that Rattler is a cancer. He's a program killer. He's going to set us back. Luke Doty will never get to develop. Well, here we are 2 years later, and there is a lot of good from Spencer Rattler. The beginning of his 2022 season was not. So my question to you, 803-404-6100, what is the legacy of Spencer Rattler at South Carolina? Let me read you this, Preston. Chuck weighs in. Rattler was the best quarterback to put on the garnet and black. What he accomplished in 2 years without a full complement of offense is just incredible. Imagine what could have been done. Simply awesome. Steve in Blythewood going completely opposite. He says Spencer Rattler's legacy is a tick above average. Anonymous texter weighs in. Spencer made his mark with the Tennessee-Clemson historic stretch. He seems eerily similar to Dak Prescott, in my humble opinion. Go ahead. What do you got?
Ooh, that's interesting. No, I don't have much. I'm listening and hearing these comments coming in. I hadn't really thought about that. I will say that Dak Prescott in college had his team up to number 4 in the country, and Mississippi State has not been the same since Dak Prescott was there. So let's slow. And also, I mean, this is getting into NFL conversation, but I know Dak's sort of a punching bag, but he was really good, and he's actually really good in the NFL also. So I don't even think we could say that. And that's no disrespect to Spencer as a thing, but Dak Prescott was really good.
I used it with A.J. Lawson. I don't think A.J. Lawson gets the credit that he deserved for Frank Martin in South Carolina basketball. A.J. Lawson was a really good player. He's kind of bouncing around back and forth on a two-way contract with the Mavs. I think he's still with the Mavs. I haven't looked in the last 3 or 4 weeks. But A.J. Lawson was a really, really good basketball player. And conceivably, and follow me on this, conceivably is one of the best basketball players to come through this program in the last 20 or 30 years. He doesn't get the credit he deserves, I think, because he doesn't have a signature moment. A.J. Lawson, who I really like as a basketball player, didn't hit a game-winning shot. I don't even know if he won an SEC tournament game, to be quite honest. Definitely didn't go to the NCAA tournament. And so there's going to be 10, 15 years from now, A.J. Lawson's just a name in the media guide when you pick it up. In the grand scheme of things, Spencer Rattler, 5-7 and 8-5 is not some historic accomplishment. Connor Shaw's numbers were great. Obviously, we know what he did. I think Spencer Rattler more talented than Connor Shaw, more NFL talented. There's a lot of different tentacles to that, right?
Yeah, arm talent for sure, 1,000%. Yeah, we can say that.
Okay,
That's fair.
Yeah. What Spencer Rattler has going for him that I think will put his legacy up there is he does have those moments, those signature moments, and that's what the anonymous texter just said. The Tennessee and Clemson game, those are the moments there that I think will push Spencer Rattler up higher, despite, honestly, at the end of the day, having an overall 13-12, as Steve points out, a 13-12 overall record.
Yeah, that's why I think this is a really interesting question, because he might fall into the same category as somebody I would think of like Anthony Wright, somebody who was tremendously talented, somebody who obviously went on to have a solid NFL career. People would look back and say, man, he was a Gamecock, but because of the time that he played in, his legacy is not going to be very similar to that.
Jason weighs in the most talented. It's funny how you were saying that right there as I get this text. Jason says the most talented arm ever to play for the Gamecocks, right up there with Anthony Wright. Needed a better supporting cast and wish him the best.
Yeah, I think that's something when you think about a lot is put on quarterbacks as, wins, losses being the quarterback stat. And I don't know if that's true. I don't know when we get into the lore of the leadership of the quarterback. But if you surround Spencer with a better cast, who knows where that goes?
Joey from Sumter says a tick above average. That guy must be a Clemson fan just trolling, because you don't put your name in all the record books and just be average. Let me ask this to a lot of you out there. How do you compare when you talk about record books, and it's 3.5 years, 4 almost compared to 2? How do you compare Spencer Rattler to, say, a Steve Tannehill? A lot of passing yards.
Really interesting. Both have iconic moments, a lot of passing yards. Very interesting. Which is the weird thing about Spencer, because by and large, Spencer was not very interesting as a person here at the university. He played his role, but it was because of all the other things that were previous when he was a teenager. That's why people were really interested. Tannehill, obviously a character for sure.
Spencer Rattler did what he needed to do. There was a perception of him, public perception, that even in talking when South Carolina became involved with Spencer Rattler, there was a lot of people again here that would call this program and basically say, no, you can't take that guy. Look at it. That was the public, because of, as Spencer said, a 15, 16-year-old kid, whatever he was, doing and saying dumb things. But you talk to people at Oklahoma, that was not him. He was the optimal teammate. He handled the benching for Caleb Williams exceptionally well. He did everything that you would want teammates to do. And I think he went out of his way. The easiest thing in the world, right? A lot of people agree with this, because Brian on our live stream says you can't penalize a talented player for playing on a bad football team. And an anonymous texter says, poor Rattler, hard to throw from your back. The easiest thing is for him to at some point snap, right? And be like, man, guys, block anybody.
I don't know what he did in person. I don't know what he did during practices, but on game days, he was a beacon of poise, teammates, patting his guys up, picking guys up when they dropped balls. When he did, his leadership, at least on Saturdays, all we could see was bar none to me.
I'm thinking this is going to be the perception, and we'll get to more in the next segment. Whit weighs in and kind of goes with a lot of you. If
15.
A good O-line, then Spencer would be the top quarterback in the draft. You're only as good as your O-line. I think that's going to be the legacy, and that's not Spencer's fault. We'll talk more about that. I'll get your thoughts on that as well. 803-404-6100. You're listening to The Early Game.
Got something to say?
Ring us up on the Love Chevy phone line. South Carolina's #1 volume Chevy dealer.
At 803-404-6100.
Your home of the Gamecocks. 107.5 The Game.
Bill Gunner for AAA Heating and Air. Now is the time to contact him, because the weather, it's only going to get colder. You want to make sure that heating unit is working properly. So don't wait another day. Call AAA Heating and Air, 803-677-3600. 1500. I'm telling you what, Roy and Dana Finley, they took care of my family this past year, putting a brand new heating and air unit in at the Gunner household. And I tell you what, those technicians, they were fantastic. They came out, they explained to me how it was going to help save money with my electric bill. They explained how everything was going to work properly. And you know what? It has been fantastic through the hot months of the summer and now the chillier mornings of the fall. That heating unit has been absolutely fantastic. So contact AAA Heating and Air today and get them out to your house. If you're 62 years of age or older, you can get a complimentary heating unit checkup. 803-677-1500. That's how you can get in touch with AAA Heating and Air. Tell them you heard it with Bill Gunner on 107.5 The Game.
Your attention is precious. Blue Cross and Blue Shield Federal Employee Program works hard to make sure your health insurance isn't one of the many things distracting you from what's important, like dinner with loved ones. That's the benefit of Blue. Learn more at fepblue.org.
Trucks, we want trucks. New Silverados are on the ground now, and more are on the way to Herndon Chevrolet. We're taking up to $15,000 off to get you in your new truck. Stop by your hometown Chevy dealer and shop all your favorite models at prices you'll love. Find new roads at Herndon Chevrolet or visit us online at herndonchevy.com today. Herndon Chevrolet, Herndon makes you wanna smile. Smile. Call Lawyer Lisa. Experience the difference with Lawyer Lisa.
Hi, this is Lisa Hostetler Brown. Do you know the difference between a revocable trust and an irrevocable trust? The difference could easily save you hundreds of thousands of dollars in long-term care costs. Visit lawyerlisa.com to schedule a consultation today.
Call Lawyer Lisa. Experience the difference with Lawyer Lisa.
7511 St. Andrews Road, Irmo, South Carolina.
Honey, you need a trust.
This is Larry Lightner, owner and founder of Midstate Roofing. And for nearly 30 years, we've continued to be the proven leader in the roofing and waterproofing industry. Midstate Roofing's proven history is your assurance that our professionals at Midstate Roofing will provide the proper advice, service, and results to the needs of your facility in a manner both safe and pleasing to your operation. From high-rise to hospitals, manufacturing to industrial, Midstate Roofing designs and installs bonded systems with a protective guarantee that will keep your operation dry and running long into the future. 24 hours a day, 7 days a week.
And this is Blake Leitner, reminding you to protect that roof with a maintenance contract. Call me today at 803-356-1919 or online at midstateroofing.com. That's midstateroofing.com.
You'll speak to an on-call technician after hours or a Midstate Roofing staff member during hours at 803-356-1919 or online at midstateroofing.com. And as always, tell them Midstate Twins.
If you have a leak, let Midstate Roofing take a peek.
Find more ways to celebrate the season at Family Dollar. With amazing savings and a dose of cheer, get what you need for less. See how you could save on stocking stuffers, holiday candies, and more, only at Family Dollar. Helping you do more.
For the real story behind some of wrestling's biggest moments, it's Something to Wrestle with Bruce Pritchard and Conrad Thompson, too.
1995, when WCW announces they're going to be live and head-to-head with Monday Night Raw, feels like this would have been something Vince would have kind of laughed off.
No, we did not like them moving to Monday nights. There were a lot of hotels. They all carried CNN, TBS, and TNT. Vince was convinced that Ted Turner had deviously done this deal to get in the hotels and keep us out.
Something to Wrestle, wherever you listen.
107.5 The Game On Demand podcast menu.
Sponsored by Lexington Orthopedics and Sports Medicine.
If you're dealing with injuries or pain, our team is here to get you better sooner.
On the home of the Gamecocks, 107.5 The Game.
WIS TV First Alert Traffic.
And things kind of picking up on the highways a little bit this morning. We do have a report of an accident where the left lane is blocked, I-26 eastbound at exit 97. Also, Clemson Road and Longtown Road, an accident there. I-26 eastbound at exit 91, still working on that earlier tie-up, as well as Longtown Road near I-20. 61 will be our high today, and under mostly sunny skies. 38 will be that overnight low. Then the rains come in tomorrow evening. 67 for our daytime high tomorrow, and then we'll be 68, 68, and then 70 on Sunday. But again, rain continuing throughout the weekend. But chilly start right now. It is 31 on the early game.
talking about. Sponsored by Love Chevrolet.
On your home of the Gamecocks in Columbia, 107.5 The Game.
Also heard on 100.3 The Game in Myrtle Beach and 100.5 The Game in Florence.
Reminder tonight, 7 o'clock, Dawn Staley and the women up in Chapel Hill looking to take on North Carolina. Should be a good one there. The SEC ACC Challenge. Lamont Paris's team already pulling down one victory over Notre Dame. And now it'll be the women's opportunity against North Carolina tonight. Should be a lot of fun. You can hear that pregame will get going right here. I want to the game at 6:30. Tip time 7 o'clock. Again, look forward to that. Look forward to checking out that game tonight. Last night, interesting night of basketball. North Carolina at home. Their men's team knocks off Tennessee. That was a 10th ranked Tennessee team traveling to North Carolina, who's ranked 17th. Tennessee was behind by a lot for the majority of that game. I watched a good bit. North Carolina wins that one. And then in Fayetteville last night, Arkansas, Eric Musselman, who probably feels like he's on the hot seat, he probably is just as affected by the arrival of Bobby Petrino, thinking, boy, Petrino might want his running mate, Rick Pitino, back with him. I better win some games and not give them a chance to get rid of me. But Eric Musselman and Arkansas knock off Duke last night in Fayetteville, 80-75. That was a good late one as part of the ACC-SEC challenge that's been going on. And I've enjoyed that. I really enjoyed seeing these two conferences match up as opposed to, say, the Big 12 and the SEC. So glad they got that going. We'll get into more basketball coming up later on. But let's get out to the Love Chevy phone lines. Jack wants to weigh in this morning. Jack, how you doing? What's on your mind?
Hey, bro. Doing good, bro. Doing good. First of all, before I get into it, I have a question. Preston may know, or you may know yourself. How many years does that transfer guy left on his time in school?
Which one?
The transfer, the one that everybody talking about, possible picking coming to South Carolina.
Yeah, good question. I believe it's one.
Yeah, he would have one.
It would be a one and done.
Yeah.
Yeah, see, that's a bad move. Not saying that's all the take, but I know we all talking hypothetically about this situation. But my point of view of it is this: you're talking about we all in South Carolina been asking for in-crew players. We got the number one in-crew player. We got 4 years with him. Whether he stay 4 or however he do it, that's it. Right now, as the book will show, you got 4 years. He came in to learn off of one top quarterback in college football. Our record don't show. With the injuries, everything we had to deal with, hey, I think his record good. But you bringing somebody over for one, if that was to happen, and move this guy, not saying they will move him, but whatever may take all this, competing thing, we'll lose him. And I'd rather go 4. I'd rather go 4-7, 4-8, or whatever with him in learning, and take one and still end up probably being 5 games or 4 games or whatever. Because without an offensive line, I don't care who you bring in here, it ain't gonna happen. So we got to work with that. We got to get a line. We got to get an offensive line, and I promise you, we would have had a better turnout if we would have been able to stay healthy. We was hurt from game 1 all the way to game 12. Shane had to get up and say about injury, this, or we gonna get this one back. We're gonna get it. Without that, and I think we got a good thing going. We got a good recruiting class coming in to match up with what we got. We got to work with that. Don't throw that young man under the bus like that. I would say that I'd be throwing not per se. I'm just speaking in general, because that's what will happen. He will be gone, and somebody will get him. Some players have the it, and he got the it.
Jack, I appreciate. And I appreciate it, because you and John, you get the program. I'm going to read John's text here in a second. You get the program and you listen. Jack, thank you for the phone call. Hope you have a great day. To Jack's point, John weighs in on our Firehouse Subs text line, and he says, I hope Sellers gets to start next year. With that being said, Coach Beamer should be untouchable for next year due to the fact that the quarterback is developing. Since you're keeping receipts, I think Beamer should get at least another 2 or 3 years. Thank you, John, for getting the my question is it's really simple, Preston, as far as this. If you are in favor of taking KJ Jefferson, you're basically, to me, saying that Shane Beamer has to win next year to keep his job or show drastic improvement. If you're in favor of starting Lenora Sellers, you're saying, I understand that this may still be a bit of a rebuild because we don't know. You and I were just talking off air. We don't know what Lenora Sellers is going to be. We've hyped him. Lord knows we've hyped him. But none of us with the schedule they play next year can say, oh, yeah, Lenora Sellers is going to guide them to 8-4 or, 7-5. We don't know. It's going to be a difficult schedule. And there's a lot more that a lot of you are pointing out. Offensive line, receivers have got to get better. You got to add depth at the running back position. There's a lot more than just the quarterback. But I feel like if you're going with Lenora Sellers next year and you're a fan, you're saying, yeah, let's play this guy that we've hyped up. You understand that it may still there may be more growing pains next year.
I think Jack just crystallized something in my mind, and you just made it even more clearer for me. If we were one position away, a quarterback away,
right,
from taking it to the next level, from going from a good team to a great team, I would be more in favor of this. But the situation is we're not. And so to bring somebody in for a one-piece piecemeal, potentially ruining or leveraging your future for that, and you don't have all the other pieces in play, it does not make sense. I'm even more firm in my statement where I think this would be a bad idea.
I'm all look. I put out the tweet a couple weeks ago about Lenora Sellers saying it may be the most hyped debut come August 31st against Old Dominion that I've seen from any player because Jadeveon Clowney didn't start. Like he got in there and you were excited to see him. Marcus Lattimore as well. Those were hyped debuts. I'm assuming Lenora Sellers is going to be the starting quarterback QB1 come next August. And I would probably rather go with him, and again, this is where, all right, it's November 30th. Don't tell me today, oh yeah, we're going, I want Sellers. And then next September be like, that Beamer should have done. Oh no, I don't.
Yeah. When he gets out there and he does redshirt freshman things, which would be probably excellent things, but also he'll do some boneheaded things as a young player. Just got to take that all. It's all part of the experience.
That's all we're saying this morning is, look, I don't really care. Everybody's got an opinion, and we're welcome to take all of them
for sure.
Yeah. I don't think there's a clear cut answer on this. I think it's how you see Shane Beamer building this program moving forward.
Jack crystallized it, and you made it even more clear for me. I think I've just taken the stance of don't bring anybody in here for a 1-year rental. Spencer Rattler was different because he was here for 2.
Well, we thought he was going to be 1 year.
Correct.
It turned into 2. And he was a good bridge. He was a great bridge, even though it's not worked out with this 5-7 season. We'll continue on with this, get back into Spencer Rattler's legacy, and we got a few other things that we probably need to get to as well this morning. I read it. Did he make a typo?
I read his announcement. I just don't know if he made a typo or if he maybe conveniently left something or someone out.
We'll get to that. Okay. All right. We'll let Preston explain that next. You're listening to Preston Thorne, Bill Gunner. She's Jen Jensen. It's the early game.
Download the 107.5 The Game app and listen anywhere. The beach, the gym, and yes, even there. Go to iTunes or Google Play and snag the 107.5 The Game app.
This is Boomer Esiason with the CBS Sports Minute, sponsored by FanDuel Sportsbook. Make every moment more. Tommy DeVito, the first undrafted quarterback to ever beat Bill Belichick, has elevated the Giants to number 28 on my Feeble 5 list, just ahead of Arizona. Chicago is looking at 2 top 5 draft picks, while New England may be looking at a coaching change. In cellar dweller Carolina, well, they just made one. Enough said. I'm Boomer Esiason. CBS Sports Radio.
As the weather gets colder, the NFL offers Stay Hot on FanDuel. Right now, new customers get $150 in bonus bets with any winning $5 moneyline bet. That's $150 if your team wins. If you've been thinking about joining FanDuel, there's no better time to get in on the action. The app is so easy to use. There's a wide range of betting options, spreads, player props, over-unders, and more. So visit FanDuel.com/win and kick off the NFL season. That's FanDuel.com/win. FanDuel, official partner of the NFL.
Must be 21 plus and present state where Florida Wager FanDuel is offering online sports wagering in Kansas under an agreement with Kansas Star Casino LLC. First online real money wager, only $5 pregame moneyline
online wager required. First online real money wager only. $10 first deposit required. Bonus issued as non-withdrawable bonus bets that expire 7 days after receipt. See terms at sportsbook.fanduel.com. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER or visit fanduel.com/RG in Colorado, Iowa, Michigan, New Jersey, Ohio, Pennsylvania, Illinois, Kentucky, Tennessee, and Virginia. Call 1-800-NEXT-STEP or text NEXT-STEP to 53342 in Arizona, 1-888-789-7777 or visit ccpg.org/chat in Connecticut, 1-800-9-WITH-IT in Indiana, 1-800-522-4700. Visit KSGamblingHelp.com in Kansas, 1-877-770-STOP in Louisiana. Visit mdgamblinghelp.org in Maryland. Visit 1-800-GAMBLER.net in West Virginia or call 1-800-522-4700 in Wyoming. Help is here. Visit gamblinghelpma.org or call 1-800-327-5050 for 24/7 support in Massachusetts or call 1-877-8-HOPE-NY or text HOPE-NY in New York.
What you're talking about. Sponsored by Love Chevrolet, where saving is always the name of the game. The lowest price, guaranteed, or they'll pay you $1,000. South Carolina's #1 volume Chevy dealer. I-26 at Harbison and at lovechevy.com. Find new roads.
What's up, Gamecock Nation? Matt Stedman, General Manager of Cato's Power Equipment. Here with a couple of tips to help you avoid costly downtime with your lawnmower this season. Check your oil before every use and change your oil every 50 hours minimum. Check your air filter and debris for discoloration and replace it often. Fresh fuel is your best friend. Don't let fuel sit in your equipment or in your gas can for more than a week, and use non-ethanol fuel whenever possible. And remember, for repairs big and small, all your service needs, Cato's Power Equipment is here to help at 803-254-3711.
Life matters. Someone said we are each of us angels with only one wing, and we can only fly while embracing each other. We may not be angels, but I fully agree with the sentiment expressed. We are at our best only as we learn to embrace others and work together. There's nothing wrong with individualism, and it's no character flaw to seek occasional solitude. Yet God knew that we could never make it alone. When God created the universe, He described everything as good. Adam's solitude was the first thing God called not good, so God created Eve. In promising ancient Israel victory over their enemies, God taught them about teamwork too. He said, 5 of you will chase 100, and 100 of you shall chase 10,000, and your enemies will fall before you. Take time to partner with good folks around you. It can make quite a difference in your life. This is Stephen Chitty, pastor of Christian Life. Remember, life matters, and so do you.
Find more ways to celebrate the season at Family Dollar. With amazing savings and a dose of cheer, get what you need for less. See how you could save on stocking stuffers, holiday candies, and more, only at Family Dollar, helping you do more.
Early game.
With Bill Gunter, former Gamecock Preston Thorne, and Jen Jensen.
Your home of the Gamecocks in Columbia. 107.5 The Game. Also heard on 100.3 The Game in Myrtle Beach and 100.5 The Game in Florence.
Eight 803-404-6100, final segment of hour number 2. Coming up to start the 8 o'clock hour, we'll give you a chance to win a pair of tickets to tomorrow night's South Carolina George Washington basketball game. Good way to start your weekend. You got some high school state championships tomorrow night. Should be a good weekend of basketball. Obviously, college football conference championships. But coming up to start the 8 o'clock hour, we'll do it right at the beginning. So about 8:01, we will give you a chance to win tickets to tomorrow night's South Carolina George Washington men's basketball game over at Colonial Life Arena. 8:03.
And can I just, for the record, say how much I really like seeing the phones light up when we give away men's basketball tickets? Because, in previous seasons, it's like, oh, there's 5,
We're going to take caller number 2.
Yeah.
That way we're insured of getting
Take
one.
the early callers. Thank you, Lamont Paris.
So, seriously, it's exciting to me because I love to see
sure.
when all the teams are doing well and see the excitement and enthusiasm.
803-404-6100. We'll get to Spencer Rattler back here in just a second. One thing I want to bring up that several of you are weighing in on, Steve saying the tricky part of all of this is you really do need to add a quarterback for depth out of the transfer portal. That's kind of legitimately true as well, because right now, I don't know what the situation is going to be with Luke Doty, but technically, if we're all under the assumption that Doty is playing some kind of hybrid H-back, wide receiver, he's the new Dakereon Joyner, you only got 2 quarterbacks. One's a redshirt freshman. One's going to be a true freshman. Jeff weighs in and says, if you take Jefferson, it better be to compete for the position. Sellers needs to be the guy. I'm not in favor of bringing a rental QB in for 1 year unless they are Rattler level or better. Develop our recruits. Keep this receipt. Hey, by the way, thank you all. We will. I like this. Let's stick by. It's a little accountability here on this program. Jen holds me accountable for all the dumb stuff I say each and every morning. Let's do that. But yeah, Jeff saying keep this receipt. And also, Beamer should get at least 3 more years, in his opinion. Well, that was like yesterday. Who was it who called in and said he should get a 10-year deal?
extension. 3 is a long time.
We'll see. Jay from the Interstate says, when I think of Rattler's legacy, I think wasted. Also, no Jefferson. Let Sellers be QB1 behind a good line with recruits coming in and freshmen that played this year. Jefferson would not improve win total in 24. Thank you, Jay.
Good thought out opinion. We appreciate it.
Keep that one as well. Spencer Rattler, man, that legacy. I think it's going to be of a lot of people thinking how good he was, but unfortunately the talent around him, especially the offensive line, let him down more. And he put out a statement yesterday thanking South Carolina fans. I thought really a good statement. I might have missed it. What have we got? A typo or a miss? What have you got that you saw?
Well,
from
yeah,
Rattler?
I'm definitely not the grammar police, so I'm not reading for grammar. I just read for content, and I like to read what is said, and sometimes I like to read what isn't said.
That's fair.
And according to Spencer Rattler's very beautiful post, nice type graph, good picture, black and white, all the things that he said. Spencer says, I want to thank Coach Beamer for bringing me here to South Carolina and letting me be a part of this family. His support and vision for this program and its players is something special. I want to thank Coach Loggins for all the support and being a great coach for me throughout this year.
Mm-hmm. What am I missing?
Sir?
What am I missing?
His first coach.
No, he's not. No, that's not a typo. That's it. He's not. He's not. No, he's not going to give. Number one, if Marcus Satterfield was here, I think he would be the guy in there.
You think?
Yes. He's not going to give credit. He's not going to give credit to Marcus Satterfield now at this point. No, I.
So you're saying he left him out?
Yeah, but why would he put him in there?
If he was a great coach and very influential for him, I'm sure he would have.
I feel like you would have, because it would have been, when Coach Beamer and Satterfield brought me here, that was fantastic, and I so appreciate them taking a chance on me, whatever the case may be. Yeah, I'm kind of with you. I think you might have mentioned him.
No, I don't think. I'm trying to think of any other. I mean, like you could say, well, he left out the Oklahoma fan base.
Well,
and that you can say, I'd like to thank the Oklahoma fan base for accepting me when I went to college.
Yeah,
I'd like to thank.
He already thanked
them
when he left.
This is strictly about the city of.
Did he put
Columbia?
What did he put out? I don't remember. Did he put something out about Oklahoma when he left, or did he just say?
I'm sure he wrote one of these. This is the time of the season where they write all of these. He said to my teammates, "I love being around you guys. Thanks for all the memories. With my favorite part of the year.
Oh,
you will not hear this phrase more than you will during this time of year. The phrase is, with that being said." So what you do is you write a whole paragraph of thanking everybody. I loved it. My time was great. It was awesome. You were amazing. I'll always cherish these memories. And then you put this phrase, "with that being said." And once you read that phrase, with that being said, you know something's coming next. Either I'm going to the NFL, I'm transferring, I'm leaving. It's been awesome, but I got to go. So with that being said, Spencer Rattler obviously declares for the NFL draft. I just thought it was interesting. I think it's interesting because either we put these statements out and we mean what we say, or we don't. And so he obviously, I was saying, it obviously not a typo. He clearly omitted Marcus Satterfield from this letter, bar none, easily.
Yeah, but I don't know why he would put him in there.
He wouldn't. I'm saying
there's nothing.
There's no reason why he would. I'm saying it's further proof that Marcus Satterfield was a failure as an offensive coordinator and probably a quarterback coach.
I don't know if we need further proof. I'm pretty sure the proof we have. It's like me walking in front of walking down Gervais Street and being like, "Oh, further proof, Gunner's not very tall." You don't need further proof on that. 803-404-6100. Brian Edwards coming up. We'll also give you some basketball tickets or a chance to win some basketball tickets coming up in about 5 minutes. It's the early game.
1075 The Game. Broadcasting live from the Herndon Chevrolet Studios.
Discover Herndon Certified. Herndon Chevrolet's premier used car warranty. Shop with complete confidence knowing Herndon Chevrolet has got you covered.
Stop by or shop online today and see why Herndon Chevrolet makes you smile.
Sponsored by Canty Foundation Specialists. Cracked concrete, sinking foundation, or need new gutters, Canty can fix it. Now is the perfect time to get your sinking or cracked concrete fixed. Whether a sidewalk, a porch, or a pool deck, Canty Foundation has the perfect solution. Don't replace it, repair it. Call today for a free estimate or visit CantyCanFixIt.com.
The Mega Millions jackpot for Friday is $355 million. Be sure to stop by your local South Carolina Education Lottery retailer and get your ticket today. See SCEducationLottery.com for jackpot odds in a store near you.
Hey, South Carolina, Scott here from Traditions Fine Jewelers. By now, you've probably heard our ads announcing the fact that we now have our own lab diamond growing machine. What does that mean for you? Well, first, it means we can control the visual quality of the diamonds we sell so that every diamond meets our exact color and clarity standard. Second, we can now sell made-to-order diamonds like a 2.14 carat if you want to propose on Valentine's Day. And third, being a grower means that we're at the very top of the supply chain with absolutely no middleman markups. So we can offer 1 carat total weight studs for just $7.99 or 2 carat total weight studs for just $16.99. And if it's her very first pair, how about 1/4 carat total weights for just $149? Being a grower means the highest quality at the lowest price.
Only at Traditions Fine Jewelers, South Carolina's first lab-grown diamond grower in Lexington and at Sand Hills, where the Midlands get engaged.
Introducing Herndon Certified. Herndon Certified used vehicles are quality assured and come with our 60-day warranty, complete with nationwide coverage. Don't just buy a used car. Buy a Herndon Certified used car and drive with confidence, knowing Herndon's got you covered. Find your perfect pre-owned in-store or online at HerndonChevy.com.
Herndon Chevrolet, Herndon makes you wanna smile, smile.
Your attention is precious, pulled in a million directions for a million different reasons. Blue Cross and Blue Shield Federal Employee Program works hard to make sure your health insurance isn't one of the many things distracting you from what's important. By making healthcare easier to navigate, we help keep your focus on the moments that matter most, like dinner with loved ones, letting you focus on you. That's the benefit of Blue. Learn more at fepblue.org.
For the second year in a row, U.S. News & World Report has named Lexington Medical Center the best hospital in the Columbia metro region. We're proud to be the #1 hospital in the Midlands and the #2 hospital in the state. We're giving our best to care for you.
Eyes on the road, hands on the wheel, safely drive that automobile. Eyes on the road, hands on the wheel.
WIS-TV First Alert Traffic.
And out on the highways this morning, have a few things to contend with. Left lane is blocked, I-26 eastbound at exit 97, making it so fantastic to try to get into Columbia from the upstate. Again, that's exit 97. The left lane is blocked on I-26 eastbound. Also, still working an earlier tie-up, I-26 eastbound at exit 91. Longtown Road near I-20. And aside from that, I think things are moving along okay. Clemson Road at Longtown Road, if I did not mention that. As far as the forecast goes, 61 for the high today. Mostly sunny skies, overnight low of 38. Showers coming in tomorrow evening and kind of sticking around throughout the weekend. Highs in the upper 60s and maybe hitting 70 on Sunday. It's 34 right now.
WNKT FM, Eastover, Columbia.
Hey, this is DeCarrion Joyner. You're listening to 107.5 The Game, home of the Gamecock.
A Cumulus media station.
The early game.
With Bill Gunter, former Gamecock Preston Thorne, and Jen Jensen.
The nom de plume.
So
nice.
I know he is. Preston is crushing it this morning with.
He's showing what 4 years of education can do, and then you're showing what 7 years of education can do.
Your home of the Gamecocks in Columbia, 107.5 The Game.
The theme of this show. I don't know what happened.
Also heard on 100.3 The Game in Myrtle Beach and 100.5 The Game in Florence.
Basketball. Oh, we spent a lot of time talking about Spencer Rattler, the transfer portal, quarterbacks. How did it look? We're a sports talk show. Occasionally. Sometimes we're a foodie show. Yesterday we were a music show. We go a lot of different levels. Some of y'all are upset. Well, all we're trying to do is say, like, hey, these are two different directions. Two different directions right now you can take the program. Shane Beamer's coach. Whatever he chooses, he's the coach. It'll be interesting to see. We'll get more into that. Brian Edwards due up at 8:30 this morning for the championship weekend picks. But right now, let's take caller number 3, 803-404-6100. Let's give you a chance to win a pair of men's basketball tickets to South Carolina and George Washington tomorrow night, Colonial Life Arena, 803-404-6100. You can win yourself some tickets. Have a nice little Friday night. So get on out there and support the Gamecock basketball team right now. 803-404-6100. Caller number 3. You will get yourself a pair of tickets. Gamecocks and George Washington tomorrow night, 7 o'clock tip time at Colonial Life Arena. So, Preston, this isn't going to be the last day we talk transfer portal because you're going to see some ridiculousness, just absolute ridiculousness. And South Carolina yesterday, Spencer Rattler declares to go pro. We all expected that. Tanner Bailey and Colton Gauthier, I guess it's announced that they're going to go and enter the transfer portal. I don't think South Carolina fans are that upset. This is a lot about Lenora Sellers as the future. How do you feel this morning if you're a Duke fan and Riley Leonard enters the transfer portal? And I'll throw to our listening audience down in Myrtle Beach, how do you feel about Grayson McCall entering the transfer portal? You've supported him. He had an NIL deal with Darlington. He's likely going to go to Auburn, seems to be the indications that I read last night, play for Hugh Freeze. That at least seems to be the discussion. But as a fan base, when you see this, because it's different when it's your quarterback as opposed to Marshawn Lloyd or a Jordan Birch, right? Starting running back, starting defensive end. Losing your quarterback like this is entirely different.
Well, yeah, in both of those cases, Grayson McCall had a chance to leave last year when the head coach left, and he stayed for a year to get the program going. And in Riley Leonard's case, the head coach left again. So it's not as if these guys are just leaving out of the blue with nothing happening. There have been significant changes in the program, and they both decided that they have made this a statement that they wanted to make. For me, this is the way I approach it, and maybe this is a way that everybody can sort of square away the transfer portal in their mind. Don't take it personal. It's not a problem if they leave. They're making the best choice for what they consider their careers. Good luck to them. But also, it's not a credit or a badge if you stay. We're assuming that everybody is in the positions that they want to be in, and they're all making the best personal choices for them. So I'm not going to be mad at you if you leave. That's your choice. Best of wishes. And if you stay, you don't get extra credit for staying either, because I'm assuming that you're making the best choice for your life in that case also.
Another one I keep leaving out, Will Rogers from Mississippi State.
Same thing.
I do wonder. I'm not spending a lot of my time going over to Mississippi State message board to see what's going on. I do wonder if Will Rogers, now that Jeff Lebby is coming in as head coach, which is going to be more an offense. If you've seen what Lebby did at Oklahoma with that passing game, I do wonder if Will Rogers kind of like says, maybe it's worth coming back and playing for this guy, as opposed to going into the transfer portal.
Will Rogers, extenuating circumstances. The coach passed away. Don't think we can predict that happening. They brought in another coach who had a completely different offensive philosophy. He stayed for 1 year, didn't work out. I think, according to the rules, he has the opportunity to pursue what's best in his favor for him.
As far as Spencer Rattler goes, a lot of y'all weighing in. I'm interested again to try and figure out where to maybe pin this down a little bit more. Anonymous Texas says, Rattler was the best. Imagine him under Steve Spurrier. Name a USC quarterback that would have accomplished more on these two teams. We are listening.
Dylan Thompson.
Yeah,
one
by
of
the
my
way,
favorites.
Preston, yes.
Oh, man, I love that guy. It's one of my favorite Gamecocks, period, bar none. He would just drop back 9 yards and just sling it.
I understand what people are saying. When you say, imagine what he would have done here. Look, I'll say this. Maybe the greatest quarterback ever at South Carolina. When we play this, imagine him like this. Savell Newton playing after Connor Shaw when Steve Spurrier learned how to use a running quarterback with Jay Manning.
Quarterbacks can use their legs. Oh.
Like, I that's fine. I'm with, but I don't like that. Imagine what he would have. Yeah, he would have been phenomenal. Steve Spurrier is one of the best in the game at coaching quarterbacks, at coaching offenses. I agree with that.
Jesse Palmer.
Maybe we can say the same thing about Jake Bentley. Who knows? Like Jake Bentley, maybe Spurrier would have broken Jake Bentley mentally. Spurrier could help you or really break you. It was one of the two different ways. But I get where you're going. But the Rattler,
Jake Bentley had to play for Kurt Roper, man. Jeez.
Let's see. Another anonymous texter says, Rattler, it isn't just how he performed. It's about what he provided. Leadership, recruiting boost, stability, Carolina legacy.
No doubt. And that's what I was hoping. And that's why this season was so important to me, because as you used the word bridge, I was hoping that Spencer Rattler was going to be the bridge. And this is not going to be. I hope Gamecock Larry, I know you're listening. Please forgive me. But I was hoping that Spencer Rattler would have a sort of legacy in the same vein as a Taj Boyd for Clemson. People forget what Taj Boyd did for that program, getting them to the point where they could now get Deshaun Watson, Trevor Lawrence. He was the kind of the start of those things happening up there. And they may be forgotten by a lot of folks. Maybe Spencer Rattler's legacy is that he's going to be a bridge to the next generation. Hopefully that's, in my opinion, hopefully that's Lenora Sellers.
Yeah, that's going to be I brought this up 2 years ago, never thinking it would actually come to fruition. But when Spencer Rattler came to South Carolina, I kind of threw out a poll question one morning. Would you rather have Spencer Rattler in year one? So mind you, now this is all played out and done, and it didn't play out as I had tried to suggest. But would you rather have Spencer Rattler go 10-2 in 1 year at South Carolina, and kind of just be the flash in the pan? All right, he got it done, and then you turn it over to somebody else. Or would you rather Spencer Rattler have 2 years but be like 8-4? Well, that didn't play out that way either. But as you just said, and as other people have noted, you got 2 years out of him. And this year was phenomenal. I mean, it really was. What he did, yeah, there are certain things that could have been a little bit better, could have played a little bit better. He was definitely handcuffed, no running game, porous offensive line.
Good word.
But I do think that the attention received from Spencer Rattler was worth it. It would help. It would have helped so much to beat Florida or win one other game and get to a bowl. And then maybe he rides off into the sunset. And now you turn it over to Lenore Sellers for, say, the Liberty Bowl or Gasparilla or whatever.
There were more eyes on this program because of Spencer Rattler.
You're right.
There were more people paying attention to this on a nationwide scale because people in college football knew of and who Spencer Rattler was previous to him getting here. Then he performed. Then we had those concepts, those games against Tennessee and Clemson. It put us on the radar. And for that, Shane and the rest of that crew needs to be eternally grateful to Spencer because he definitely helped them out in what they were trying to do.
We have breaking news. I'm dead serious. What I'm about to read to you, I am dead serious. This is true.
Is it vetted?
This is from J.C. Sherbert. John Whittle has just texted me. We have breaking news. Juice Wells will be entering the transfer portal as a graduate transfer.
Awesome. Let's go.
I just received the
I told y'all it was silly season. I just finished saying, Bill. I just said, listen, do not take it personal if somebody leaves or if somebody stays. If they leave, that's their choice. If they stay, that's their choice. And here we go.
This is being reported, J.C. Sherbert, and thank you, John Whittle, for texting me this. This is Juice Wells, according to thebigspur.com. John Whittle.
We never get to break news in the morning.
We don't actually.
This is awesome.
I don't hate. I'm sorry to be giddy slightly about this, and I appreciate John Whittle for sending this to me as it's happening. I owe John a nice lunch now for getting me this, but according to J.C. Sherbert and thebigspur.com, John Whittle as well sending me this. This is a post from J.C. Sherbert. Juice Wells now plans to enter the transfer portal as a graduate transfer. JC says, I do not have any further details at this time. So there you go. That was that was not as much fun breaking news at 8:10 as I would have liked. But again, if you're just tuning in yesterday, if you're just tuning in this morning, JC Sherbert, thebigspur.com, John Whittle, reporting Juice Wells will now enter the transfer portal as a graduate transfer. 803-404-6100. We'll let you comprehend that news. We'll come back on the other side and we'll get more into what's going on. We got to break some news. Just unfortunately, may have broke some hearts as well. You're listening to the early game.
Ever been on this date?
You're a good looking man.
Thank you.
Very pretty. Real soft, delicate features. They're real feminine.
And thought, man, I'd rather be listening to the game right now. Welcome in to the afternoon show alongside Elijah Campbell. I'm Jay Phillips. Well, just go to iTunes or Google Play and download the game app. Sure, you may no longer be with that person anymore, but you'll never be without the game again.
Christmas season is upon us. Christmas parties, having people over, wrapping gifts, and keeping your house clean. And at Zero Res, it is one last day to take advantage of the Black Friday sale. That's right. We all enjoyed some good sales, some good deals last Friday. But you know what? Zero Res Carpet and Air Duct Cleaning extended their Black Friday sale, and you can take advantage of it today. 803-262-4020. That's how you can get in touch with Zero Res today. And again, take advantage of their Black Friday sale, but it ends today. Right now, call and get 3 rooms and a free hallway cleaned for $119. Get your sofa cleaned with that patented ZR water technology for $129, or get your air duct cleaned as well for $309. You have to book before the end of the day, though, to capture these great savings. So again, schedule your appointment, 803-262-4020, or online, ZeroResColumbia.com. Zero Res, spell it backwards or forwards, is the right way to go. Right way to go.
Broadcasting live from the Herndon Chevrolet Studios. This is 107.5 The Game.
A great selection of new Chevys is available now at Herndon Chevrolet. The lot is packed with inventory and more is on the way. So shop your hometown Chevy dealer today.
Stop by or shop online today and see why Herndon Chevrolet makes you smile.
Do you know the secret to losing up to 1 pound of fat every day? I'm Dr. Mark Bentley with Columbia Secret for Weight Loss, and I know the secret. Our unique weight loss program makes it easy to lose weight, get healthy, and get your energy back naturally, safely, and effectively. If you'd like to lose unhealthy fat without counting points or calories, no exercising, no prepackaged or boxed meals, no surgery, and no hypnosis, call my office now at 803-824-4210.
Hi, I'm Erica, and if you want to lose weight and fix your metabolism, then this is the program for you. I'm down 30 pounds in 7 weeks. My metabolism is alive again, and I feel great. This system will not let you down.
Many patients lose 20 to 30 pounds in about a month. It's a half a pound to a pound per day. For your free private weight loss consultation, call 803-824-4210. That's 803-824-4210. Or ColumbiaSecretForWeightLoss.com.
Hey, Gamecock, Scott here with Gamecock Traditions. Hats, and more hats are now available in-store and online. Dozens of Under Armour styles, including the American Flag Block C, are now in stock. Check out the new Hat Flow hats with the Gamecock leather patches. Shop Legacy, The Game, Zephyr, New Era, and Richardson brands. If you're looking for a new lid, Gamecock Traditions is the place to go. 5134 Sunset Boulevard or at the Village at Sandhills. Or shop GamecockTraditions.com. Gamecock Traditions, covering you from head to toe.
P-Doctor Portrayal.
Life can be so unpredictable. After losing my dad, it made me think about my family if something were to happen to me. I had heard about life insurance through Ethos and how easy it was to get coverage. They were right. In 10 minutes, I was covered. And boom, family protected.
Ethos fast and easy online term life insurance up to $2 million in coverage with no medical exam. Some policies as low as $1 a day. Answer a few health questions and get your free quote at checkethos.com. That's checkethos.com.
As a mom, comforting my family is what I do best. Vicks Vapor Stick provides soothing, non-medicated Vicks Vapors in an easy-to-apply stick. And it dries fast, so there's no mess. I use it to comfort myself and my family.
Thanks, Mom.
Vicks Vapo Stick, soothing comfort for the whole family. And when you need more comfort for yourself, try Vicks Vapo Shower for steamy Vicks Vapors.
Use as directed. Vapo Stick for use ages 4 and up. Vapo Shower use for adults only.
Hey Gamecocks, Ben Cato, third generation owner of Cato's Power Equipment. Is your landscaping business losing valuable hours to pushing and trimming backyards and tight spaces? Introducing the Gravely Z stands. With deck sizes starting at 32 inches, these compact mowers feature a commercial Kawasaki engine and a 7-gauge cutting deck. With compact mowers come a compact price. We have models starting at just $71.99. The Gravely Z Stance is sure to be your favorite new employee. Come check them out today at Cato's Power Equipment, 4012 West Beltline Boulevard.
WIS-TV First Alert Traffic.
And still kind of busy out on the highways this morning. I-26 eastbound at Broad River Road, that would be exit 97. That is still slowing things down. Left lane is blocked. Clemson Road near Two Notch Road. Also Clemson Road at Longtown. I-26 eastbound at exit 91. Also a tie up there. So 26 eastbound coming into Columbia from the upstate. Not so great right now. Longs Pond near I-20, an accident there. So please be careful. Maybe pack a little extra patience. Sunny and 61 for the high today. 67 tomorrow, and really upper 60s to 70 all weekend with a chance for rain also throughout the weekend. Right now, though, chilly start to your morning, 35 on the early game.
The early game
with Bill Gunter, Preston Thorne, and Jen Jensen.
Your home of the Gamecocks in Columbia. 107.5 The Game.
Also heard on 100.3 The Game in Myrtle Beach.
And 100.5 The Game in Florence.
.817 on a Thursday morning. Bill Gunner, Preston Thorne, Jen Jensen, and just in the last 15 minutes, we've received word. J.C. Sherbert and John Whittle, J.C. Sherbert with the Post on thebigspur.com, that Juice Wells intends to enter the transfer portal as a graduate transfer. We are working here to see if there's any tweets, Instagrams, Facebooks. You get the point. We are working here to get to good, but we are reporting or repeating what J.C. Sherbert and thebigspur.com is now reporting this morning. They've just put it out here in the last hour, or excuse me, in the last about 18 minutes, that Juice Wells will enter the transfer portal as a graduate transfer. We will continue to monitor this situation over the next 50 minutes here, and obviously be something to stay tuned to as more details come out. But Preston, Juice Wells, what, a week ago? Today's Thursday. I'm not sure. I forget now. It was not Thanksgiving. It was Wednesday, maybe Tuesday. Juice Wells had a tweet. I believe it was a tweet. I don't know what these things are anymore. That said, to clear the air, I am not declaring for the NFL. I'm coming back. I'm not declaring for the NFL draft. I am paraphrasing slightly, but there's a key thing not mentioned in there. He never said he was coming back to the University of South Carolina.
He did not.
Just said he was coming back.
I'm sorry if you can hear the smile through the radio. It's not that I'm smiling. It's not that. It's whatever. To quote the great rapper Sean Carter, it was all good just a week ago. We all assumed that when he said he was coming back, we assumed that it was coming back here, but who knows? Or, as we like to say with these coaches, maybe things changed in the last week. I don't know. Who knows what happened in the past week that has changed this? Or maybe this wasn't the scenario the whole time. I don't know.
But he said he wasn't going to leave, so he was supposed to stick to that. That's going to be a lot of the mindset of the fan base is, well, he said, nope, he's back next year for sure. He made it a point to make that statement, and that's why I think it's dangerous for them to do that, because when they say, oh, yep, I'm back next year, good to go. You did that before the end of the season. I just think please don't, because now you look like, I don't know. I don't care for it very much, but he didn't play the rest of the season. We don't know why. We kind of got the feeling that, Shane sort of alluded to, well, emotionally or mentally when he's ready. So, maybe he's been checked out for a while, was just trying to pacify people with a comment. But, if he's not interested in playing, okay, then please go have a good season elsewhere.
To quote the specific tweet, it would say, clearing the air, I am not playing not holding out for the NFL draft. I'll be back next year.
Yes. Please don't say that if you.
Well, he is going to be back next year. He
Just
just
not-
never said where he was going to be back to.
Wow. Nicely done. A little semantics expert there. Mm-hmm.
So you just, it's all about the words.
Bill Gunter is great.
I'm trying to do a few different things here to see if we can move Brian Edwards to tomorrow to continue discussing this in the 8 o'clock hour. We will. Brian Edwards will actually now join us tomorrow morning. Obviously, no Thursday night game to get into. He does. By the way, I will just say that Brian has sent me his picks. He does say that he likes the Cowboys -9 tonight over Seattle. So we will get with Brian Edwards tomorrow in the 8 o'clock hour to get his picks on the championship weekend. But we'll move Brian Edwards for now to continue to discuss this situation that has now popped up, because I laugh because none of it. I really, Preston, last week when that tweet came out, there were people on our live stream that I can look at right now that were saying, he didn't say South Carolina. And I don't remember who it was. I don't remember which one of you on the live stream was pointing that out last week. Like, hey, he didn't say South Carolina. And you just kind of thought, like, why would you put the tweet out if you're not going to come back to South Carolina? That seems to be implied. This is going to raise a lot of questions about Juice Wells and I think his character, and I think it's going to change his legacy. Much like Jaheim Bell last year put out a tweet the night before he announced his, like that night, hey, buy my merchandise. And then the next day was like, I'm in the portal.
Listen, all I'm saying is, as long as the same rules apply for the players as the coaches, I'm good. But if we can make the excuses for the coaches and saying, oh, well, things change. I didn't know I was third in the marketing. If they can change for the coaches, they can change for the players too. I'm not sure if this is anything about particularly character, because he never did give any of us his word. So it's not as if he broke his word. Yes, it may have been implied. But listen, things change rapidly, I guess. Who knows?
Let's get to a few of these. Hot Sauce Ross. Juice leaving stinks, but I'm not mad about it. Why? But why clear the air to say you're staying just to transfer? He could have just said nothing. On another note, QT has a great selection of sauces and condiments to accompany the breakfast tacos.
Thank you, sir.
A lot in that.
Perfect.
All right.
That's a perfect early game tweet.
Let's see. Who is this? Another anonymous texter. Until they make some bleeping rules about this college, sports are ruined. There has to be a line somewhere. South Carolina sports will be mediocre for 10 years. So we're about to hit a wide array. Preston, we very rarely get the raw reaction from y'all in the moment. Normally we have to wait until Monday morning to get football reaction. Right now we can do this. Marshall says they must be bringing KJ Jefferson in between the Bailey and Gauthier thing now, and Juice Wells leaving. Jefferson is coming. Reading between the lines there. Eddie, coming back means coming back to where you are. You can't come back to somewhere you're not.
No, that's not true. He said, I'll be back next year. And that means whatever. Doesn't necessarily mean here.
Jared?
But also, I'm just telling you all, I just said how old people always told us how you lose them is how you got them. We didn't recruit Juice Wells. We took him from somewhere else. So let's not get all uptight now that someone else might be potentially taking him from us. How you lose them is how you got them. Always remember that.
Jeremy says Juice can't come back to somewhere he hasn't already been. Jeff saying you can't come back to Auburn, for example, if he was never at Auburn.
He'll be back in college football.
Greg says, honestly, this all boils down to NIL tampering. Another Jeff, different Jeff, weighing in. Bad look on his part. If you aren't sure whether or not you're going to stay or go, then don't say anything. Anonymous texter. There you go. I agree with Preston. I'm not sure which part they agree with you on, but they agree. Another texter. Can we use KJ Jefferson at the X receiver next year? 803-404.
KJ Jefferson is not built for any type of receiver. I don't know if you've seen him. He's only built for either fullback or quarterback.
This isn't fun or cool, but it's interesting that we are getting the reaction. Chandler, jumping off the bridge, says never watching college football again.
Good luck.
Oh,
that's on our live stream. So
you'll be one of few.
A lot of
the ratings are soaring.
A lot of you weighing in. Again, if you're just tuning in, the bigspur.com, JC Sherbert has put up a post on the bigspur.com It says Juice Wells now plans to enter the transfer portal as a graduate transfer. I do not have any further details at this time. It says I do not have any further details. So, again, according to J.C. Sherbert and thebigspur.com, Juice Wells intends to enter the transfer portal. As far as we know, I'm looking around at Jen and Preston. We need a whole team of people right now. I'm looking at both of you to make sure that we have not seen, to my knowledge, a Twitter post, an Instagram post.
Have not.
This
Not
is
yet.
so, just FYI, very rarely at 8 a.m. do we have to cover breaking news as it pertains to
It's like,
sports.
what a good day for us.
It's going to be so many message board posts. They were so giddy on the early game.
Put it on Preston. Yes, this is fun because I just told you all that things could happen. And I told you all earlier this week, it's the beginning of silly season. Don't think we're immune to it.
Chris Clark and Gamecock Central now also reporting the same.
Did we scoop Chris Clark?
Well, we didn't. We're borrowing.
Wait.
I'm using information here. No, the bigspur.com.
But did we report it first?
We didn't report anything. We repeated.
But did we say it
if it's from a viable source, I have to source this.
But did we say it over the airwaves first?
Yeah, because technically Chris isn't on the air till a little bit later. So yeah. So yes, we did.
beat him. Yeah.
Yes.
No, but anyway, so Chris Clark and
we
Gamecock
good.
Central now with stuff. So we will continue, obviously, to monitor this throughout the day. And as we await more information on what may or may not happen, but now both the bigspur.com and Gamecock Central releasing information that, yes, Juice Wells is planning to enter the transfer portal as a graduate transfer. Obviously, we'll have more as we go through the day. Again, you're listening to Preston Thorne, Bill Gunner, she's Jen Jensen. It's the early game.
Here's what's coming up on the game.
Love Chevy High School Football Scoreboard Show with Justin Hall, Elijah Campbell, and Ed Bird. Friday from 6 to 9 p.m.
Your home of the Gamecocks in Columbia. 107.5 The Game.
Also heard on 100.3 The Game in Myrtle Beach.
And 100.5 The Game in Florence.
Now, all this transfer portal talk, I'd like to make an announcement myself. I am committing to Old Timey Meat Market. Respect my decision. Hashtag respect my decision. Why do I commit to Old Timey Meat Market? Because they have a quality selection of steaks, of chicken, of pork chops. Actually, I'm cooking a bunch of chicken this afternoon from family that we purchased at Old Timey Meat Market. I went to the Lexington store. You can go to the Irmo store on St. Andrews or the South Congaree store and visit the great butchers at Old Timey Meat Market. Family run. They have taken care of families here in the Midlands. They've made sure we've had the absolute best selection, the best cut of meat, and they've done it for an incredible price. And maybe you want some breakfast items for this coming Saturday morning, whether it is thick cut bacon, whether it's grits, maybe it's Southern style biscuits, absolutely delicious. Old Timey Meat Market has you covered for breakfast, lunch, and dinner. And that's why I'm committed to Old Timey Meat Market. Hashtag respect my decision. Go visit Old Timey Meat Market today. Tell them Bill Gunner sent you.
Do you spend more and more money each year trying to keep your house warm in the winter? Then it's time to call the team at Renewal by Anderson of the Carolinas. Right now, you can save $400 per window and $1,000 per door. FreeWindowAssessment.com. That's FreeWindowAssessment.com.
What you're talking about. Sponsored by Love Chevrolet. No pressure buying. Best in class service. And a $1,000 low price guarantee. The season's always better in a Love Chevrolet. I-26 at Harbison and at LoveChevy.com. Find new roads.
This is Larry Lightner, owner and founder of Midstate Roofing. And for nearly 30 years, we've continued to be the proven leader in the roofing and waterproofing industry. Midstate Roofing's proven history is your assurance that our professionals at Midstate Roofing will provide the proper advice, service, and results to the needs of your facility in a manner both safe and pleasing to your operation. From high-rise to hospitals, manufacturing to industrial, Midstate Roofing designs and installs bonded systems with a protective guarantee that will keep your operation dry and running long into the future. 24 hours a day, 7 days a week.
And this is Blake Liner, reminding you to protect that roof with a maintenance contract. Call me today at 803-356-1919 or online at midstateroofing.com. That's midstateroofing.com.
You'll speak to an on-call technician after hours or a Midstate Roofing staff member during hours at 803-356-1919 or online at midstateroofing.com. And as always, tell them Midstate Twins.
If you have a leak, let Midstate Roofing take a peek.
At Atkins Law, we are proud alumni of USC. Since graduating, our attorneys continue to be proud supporters of Gamecock sports.
And we understand that there's a lot that goes on behind the scenes that you don't see on the field. There's practice, there's diligence, there's loyalty. All of those things we put into practice every day.
Remember, if you've been hurt on the job, who you hire matters. Call us at 803-251-6406 or find out more at hollyatkinslaw.com.
Hi, Scott here from Traditions Fine Jewelry with important news if you're in the market for diamond jewelry. For years, we've been building relationships with some of the largest diamond dealers and diamond cutters in the world so we could offer the best possible value to our customers. And as lab-grown diamonds have become more and more popular, we've also created fantastic relationships with growers and cutters in that category too. But now, we've taken an even bigger step by accepting our very own growing machine in the 2 million square foot Surreal Super Lab in Surat, India. By growing our own diamonds, we can now eliminate middleman markups while offering the highest clarity and color in sizes up to 17 carats. We can even grow your diamond to order. So now, whether you're in the market for earth-mined or lab-grown diamonds, you just got to come see us.
Only at Traditions Fine Jewelers, South Carolina's first lab-grown diamond grower in Lexington and at Sand Hills, where the Midlands get engaged.
Gotta take.
Hit us up on the Firehouse Subs text line.
Firehouse Subs, founded by firemen.
803-404-6100.
On your home of the Gamecocks.
107.5 The Game.
WIS-TV First Alert Traffic.
So it's kind of a mess there on I-26 eastbound for sure. Earlier tie-up at exit 91 that has been cleared, but still a tie-up at exit 97. So trying to get that worked out. So again, I-26 eastbound coming into town around exit 97, a mess there. Clemson Road at Longtown Road, you'll find an accident, as well as Clemson Road near Two Notch Road. Highway 60 at Broad River Road, an accident there. And Piney Woods Road at Broad River Road, we do also have a report of an accident. 61 for the high today under sunny skies. Enjoy that sun. By tomorrow evening, showers will be coming in, and we'll kind of be dealing with that throughout the weekend. Today's high 61, tomorrow 67. It is currently 35 and sunny on the early game.
What you're talking about. Sponsored by Love Chevrolet.
On your home of the Gamecocks in Columbia, 107.5 The Game.
Also heard on 100.3 The Game in Myrtle Beach and 100.5 The Game in Florence.
Don't be sad, don't be blue. You have your whole life ahead of you. Love was here, now it's gone. So it's time you keep moving on. Don't take it personal. Take the bitter with the sweet. Easy come, easy go.
Easy come, easy go, baby.
This is a Preston here. Preston wanted to play that coming back.
I did. Put it on me. Don't take it personal.
I will say this.
On the music choice, I got to tell you.
Thank you.
I will say this, and kids can transfer. That's fine. It's no problem. There will be questions, rightfully so, asked about the actions of Juice Wells now throughout the season, what his intentions were. It will make you ask about people that were paying him not to the fault of the people paying NIL money, but how that was handled by Juice Wells. I don't know if we're owed an explanation. I do think that Juice Wells' teammates, if he was indeed healthy, is owed an explanation. If he could have played in that Clemson game, couldn't block on the offensive line, mind you. Preston, this is a little bit different. As fans, you can feel cheated. I understand that. But as you just kind of eloquently put there with, was that Jermaine Jackson?
That was Jermaine Jackson.
Okay.
Good call.
I
I can't believe that you even questioned who that was. I mean,
You gotta know that.
got a lot going on right now.
oh, I don't. I'm sitting here,
Got a
knitting
lot
an
going on
Afghan.
trying to. This is where we need like a team of 4. Like you're trying to handle the radio part. We need someone handling the video part.
Well,
We got to have someone just scouring the
to
internet.
give a clear live look into the studio. Bill is doing reporterish things. He's tweeting, he's texting, he's on his phone. Jen
Mhm.
is back there, and the producer, she's cutting all type of stuff. I'm just in here looking for songs to play. That's all. That's all.
I think you're doing a little
Well,
bit
that's
more.
we're all doing our own thing.
Just looking for songs.
I do. Look, I'm never going to criticize a kid for his choice, and I would assume a coach, Shane Beamer, Dabo Sweeney, Billy Napier, Kirby Smart. If you don't want to be at the program, don't be here. Okay, don't be here. So I'm not going to criticize him for his choice. What I do look at now is because now there's some context to what we heard Shane Beamer saying starting in October through the end of the season. And we asked one time, you and I asked, this is a situation where now Shane seems a little annoyed, not by the media, but by his own player at not being able to get a straight answer on what was going on. And look, there is an element again that is now part of college football. I don't know how it financially worked out. Did Juice Wells get all his money in August? Was he getting checks in September, October? I don't know.
And I am very curious as this silliness happens with the transfer portal, how does that impact NIL? Like, what are the deals? Are they guaranteed the money no matter if they sit out the season or if they play? Like, what are this? I would really love a breakdown of that to understand it, because if you don't play, granted, he may still be fulfilling whatever obligations, whatever endorsement type of things he had to do, but they're also not only his popularity obviously only grows when he plays.
This is different than last year because I think our genuine feeling, whether we're right or wrong, is that Marshawn Lloyd and Jordan Birch left because they don't feel like they got the deal they wanted. And maybe that's fine. Matt Rule saying yesterday, quarterback is worth $1 to $1.5 to $2 million. This one's different because Juice Wells was promoted as being the NIL king, having all these deals. I don't know if it was, nobody's really ever said that Juice Wells was making, $5, $6, $7 million, but they pointed, he's got all these deals. We had a liner, we joked. Sosa the dog.
What about Sosa? Is Sosa staying? Is he going? What's going on?
Did Sosa have to find a new owner for whatever that dog food was? Like, I don't know.
Sosa's gonna have to go back to kibble.
Yeah.
No way.
He's not going to be running up the hill for that cupcake anymore.
Yeah. Sosa's on a diet. But this is legitimately where I will be serious about this. As far as his teammates go, yes, I feel like they're owed an explanation. You may have just cost guys that are out of college eligibility an opportunity for a bowl game. You may have. I can't say that for certainty. I don't know what Juice was. But if you were cleared to play, and by all accounts now, I go back and read between the lines on how Shane Beamer explained it. You may have just cost your teammates who do not have any more college eligibility a shot at a bowl game. You let your teammates down. Now, again, I don't have all the details, but let's be honest. We can take some things that Shane Beamer said. The funny line that Shane Beamer said that I've been joking about. He's out, but he's day to day. You can't be out and day to day. And us included, maybe owe Shane Beamer a bit of an apology here for how he handled it, because I do think he tried to protect his player only to potentially be stabbed in the back at the very end.
Yeah,
look,
I don't know that.
I just, this is a different situation. We, the fans, the media, we're not owed any explanation. I don't need anything from Juice Wells. You've done what you did. To me, it's your teammates, Preston. I don't know if you've ever had a situation like this where you feel like a guy now in hindsight just quit on you and maybe cost you a bowl game. I'm trying to think of the guys who literally just ran out of eligibility, like just completely lost that they finally finished their 7th year. And
yeah, I don't know if he knows them anything. Those dudes knew what was. We don't know what was happening because Shane, because of the way college football is set up, coaches do not have to be transparent about anything, whether that's the money that the players are being paid, whether that's their injury status. Because the way we've all decided about this silly system, this is the worst case scenario that is a result of the system. And no, we don't. I don't. You might. I don't owe Shane an apology because he is part of the system. He's playing the game within it. It's not as if was doing that to protect his player. He was doing that to protect his program, himself, his donors, all of those. So Shane is involved also, and he just may have gotten burnt again.
Are there any players? Because I'm kind of blanking on some of the roster stuff, but like, is there anybody who might have been eligible to play next year, but they had to end up burning that red shirt because they had to fill in for Juice?
That's
so
interesting.
they've lost an extra year of eligibility because of his decision. I don't know.
I don't know. I'll also just this is the part of NIL in college football that gets really intriguing. I'm going to read this text. I don't necessarily agree with it, but I think it's a legitimate like contract situation. When you talk NIL, they're contracts. George weighs in and says Juice probably had an NIL deal that paid him $1 million all to just play in one game. His rear end needs to be sued for breach of contract. Now, I'm not going to go that far. I read that because this is the part of NIL that I think is really, really interesting. You've got people, Carolina Rise, Garnet Trust, who are asking for money. Hey, donate so that we can take care of these players. People are donating money. If it goes to Juice Wells and he doesn't play, and look, Juice is an easy target for us this morning because it's right here in town. Riley Leonard at Duke, Grayson McCall at Coastal Carolina. You can go around the country. You can look at a lot of examples. We're using Juice Wells because he's right here in town. I don't know what that contract situation is.
Every contract, they can write up everything in any contract that they want to sign. But the purpose of NIL was to give players the rights back that they had to benefit off of their name, image, and likeness. The way that it was supposed to initially proposed was that businesses were able to pay groups. This idea of collectives, this idea of paying people to come and play, that is something that people have morphed this thing into. So the people that are paying and playing have turned it into something that was not of the initial consequences. All it was initially about was giving NCAA performers the rights that every other American has. And so that's what this was about initially. We've turned it into something else, and this is a product of that turn.
And this is another
and NIL, and I'm sorry, but NIL it explicitly says that it is not pay for play. It's about name, image, and likeness. So you can say whatever you want, but it's never was or has never been intended to be about pay for play.
And again, this is there's a lot of takes on the whole situation, and that's why I say maybe we aren't owed it. We are not owed anything. I think his teammates are, maybe his coaches. I think that's an internal thing.
I don't need an apology. I need some of that bread, bro. Give me some of that money, homie. I don't want.
There's a lot of people out there whose dogs are going, man. Sosa's.
Yeah.
Hey, mom, dad.
Yeah.
Think you can get in on that NIL money, Sosa?
Don't
guy?
need to apologize, Juice. Just break me off a little bit of that.
But here's another aspect of it, and I can understand it. I just you have to question everything. Maybe Juice was promised a certain amount of money, didn't get what he was promised because of the injury, so he sat out the rest of the season. I'm just reading the text here, but
that's a possibility.
And anonymous texter also weighs in. Preston needs a raise. He's on fire. We don't know. We can give him a raise. He can be out the door tomorrow. He could transfer to Jocks in Birmingham.
So
we're not giving him no.
So actually, what we need to be doing is we need to be locking in Preston's
Lock
NIL
in the
and
deal.
all that.
It's coming with some stipulations,
Preston's
buddy boy.
Day to day.
3-404-6100. We'll come back. We'll wrap up this episode. What a morning. Honestly, the start of the program with KJ Jefferson and everything, I thought, man, I texted you yesterday, man, we got a program.
We had a lot. Who would have thought?
Brian Edwards again will join us tomorrow morning, 8:30. You're listening to Preston Thorne and Bill Gunner. She's Jen Jensen. It's the early game.
Download the 107.5 The Game app and listen anywhere. The beach, the gym, and yes, even there. Go to iTunes or Google Play and snag the 107.5 The Game app.
This is Boomer Esiason with the CBS Sports Minute. Back in May on his 100th birthday, Henry Kissinger, who died yesterday, spoke about his passion for soccer. At the highest level, he said, it is complexity masquerading as simplicity. Unlike American football and baseball, all 11 players must possess the same skills, Kissinger explained, adding that soccer relies on improvisation of solutions to constantly changing strategic imperatives. Boy, did he live quite the life. I'm Boomer Esiason.
CBS Sports Radio.
eBay Motors is here for the ride. So minivans, sedans, JDMs, roll out. Go ahead, feel your engine. Admire that perfectly installed exhaust. Your vehicle's moving along this freeway like it was made from fresh installs and a whole lot of love. And with eBay Motors, you get over 122 million parts to keep it running. And with eBay Guaranteed Fit, they'll be the perfect fit every time. Plus, at these prices, well, we're burning rubber, not cash. Keep your ride or die alive at ebaymotors.com. Eligible items only. Exclusions apply.
Thursday night football is on, and it's only on Prime. Tonight, it's a matchup between two of the NFC's most exciting teams, when Geno Smith and the Seattle Seahawks take on Dak Prescott and the Dallas Cowboys. Not a Prime member? Sign up for a 30-day free trial to stream the game. Coverage begins at 7 p.m. Eastern with TNF Tonight, presented by Verizon. It's the Seahawks and the Cowboys on Thursday night football, and it's on Prime. Restrictions apply. See Amazon.com/Amazon Prime for details.
Clogged, overflowing gutters can cause thousands of dollars in damage to your home's foundation. Canty Foundation can replace your gutters and save you money.
Canty installed gutter shutter.
Call us today for your free inspection.
Canty can fix it.
Having a reliable gutter system is essential to protecting your home's interior and exterior. Heavy rain can unleash gallons of water onto your home, and poorly maintained or leaky gutters could lead to roofing, siding, and water damage that is expensive to repair or replace. Online at candygutters.com.
Wesley Financial Group is not a law firm. This story is called The Ugly Truth About Timeshare. If you think you've done your family a favor by buying a timeshare, you need my help. Hello, I'm Chuck McDowell, CEO and founder of Wesley Financial Group. 10 years ago, I started helping folks cancel their timeshare. In the process, started what's now called the timeshare cancellation industry. Timeshare is the only thing that you can buy that you can't tell me how much it's going to cost or when it's going to end. When you buy a timeshare, you give them a blank check to fill out any amount they want for annual maintenance and assessment fees. The crazy thing is, this never ends. Even when you die, your family's now going to be stuck with this burden. Stop the insanity today. Call my office now. If we take you as a client, I guarantee we'll cancel your timeshare or you'll pay nothing.
Call for your free information kit. 800-919-1441. 800-919-1441. 800-919-1441.
There are good gifts, and then there are great gifts. I just shopped at Kohl's, and let me tell you, I found some really great gifts. And all for less, like 50% off Cuddle Duds bedding, a Ninja Blast portable blender for under $60, and 30% off toys. Then I got 20% off some of my finds, and I earned Kohl's Cash. Don't just take it from me. Hurry to Kohl's to get the best gifts for everyone on your list. Select styles, toys, coupons do not apply. Some exclusions apply. Offers end December 6th. 20% off valid through December 10th. See store or Kohl's.com for details.
The early game
With Bill Gunter, Preston Thorne, and Shen Jensen.
Your home of the Gamecocks in Columbia. 107.5 The Game.
Also heard on 100.3 The Game in Myrtle Beach and 100.5 The Game in Florence.
Again, if you're just tuning in this morning, just flipping on the radio, getting in the car, even getting kids to school or whatnot. Breaking news, first reported by J.C. Sherbert and thebigspur.com. Juice Wells intends to enter the transfer portal as a graduate transfer. This broke about the top of the hour. And one thing that's been interesting, very rarely on this program, very rarely do you get to hear Preston and I process thoughts, emotions without essentially 16, 17 hours to kind of get our thoughts together, do a little research, see how things play out, right? You've gotten to listen to about 49 minutes of us going, huh, and processing it live on air as it's happening and taking your opinion. Very rarely do we get to get your opinions and your thoughts in the moment, because again, by the time we show up on Monday morning from a football game, you've had in the vicinity of 24 to 36 hours, maybe a few more, to process your thoughts. And maybe you're calmer by the time you hit us on Monday. Maybe you're still inflamed. I don't know. But by the time we arrive here, usually on Monday morning or on a morning after some big news happens, everybody's had a chance to maybe sleep, settle down a tad, have a nice meal, and be a little more rational. It's been kind of an interesting 50 minutes now as we've done everything in real time. Juice Wells right now, according, again, nothing that we have seen yet from Juice Wells himself. I don't know if he'll put anything out. I think this is also going to raise the question now when you're trying to generate revenue for Carolina Rise, for Garnet Trust, for NILs. How do you feel about giving money now knowing, and I'm going to let Preston's got a point here because I just brought it up off air with Preston. Juice Wells made money. I assume. I am under the complete assumption right now that he has collected whatever deals he had. Maybe something will come out to be to the contrary, but the Juice Wells made money through NIL to essentially play in 3 games this year. I'm not sure. Actually, I think he did play against Furman. So 3 games. Scored 1 touchdown. And collected whatever it is he collected, which is likely over $1 million, to not play.
Wait. You can't.
Hold on. I'm going to let you say what you just said, because you made a great point. Collected that money to not play. However, Preston off air just made a great point. He wasn't paid to play.
You don't. NIL is not pay for play. We have to say that over and over and
That's
over
a great,
again
very good reminder.
to make people understand that NIL is for your name, image, and likeness. Now, have we bastardized what that was? Turned it into inducements for playing? Yes, everybody has, because we're all trying to sneak around the system and create some advantage. And that is for Garnet Trust. That is for the Big Spur, Carolina Rise, all of us. We've all tried to figure out a way around the system because we all say that's how everybody else is playing the game. However, again, it's worth repeating. NIL is not pay for play. It is not based on performance. It's not based on how many games you play. It is supposed to be. It is.
It's not what it was intended to be.
It's not what it was intended to be when the law was passed. Now, what was he paid for? He was paid for his performance previously, on the assumption that people wanted to generate attention for somebody who performed well on the field. That is supposed to be the agreement. It is not pay for play. And I would caution anybody and everybody to jumping to assumptions about how much money he received, because we do not know how much, what his dealings were with these people, because we do not know, and what conversations that were had between Antwain, Shane, the people around him, and all of that. Unless you know something, your best bet is to not jump to any conclusions about this person's character, about who this person is, or about what they've done, because we do not know. And because of the way the system is set up, Shane is not required to provide any information. There's no transparency on the money that they were paid. And so this is all the system that we are all involved in right now.
It's not just happening at South Carolina. I'm sure Arkansas doesn't want to lose KJ Jefferson. I'm sure Duke did not want to lose Riley Leonard. I'm sure Coastal Carolina does not want to lose Grayson McCall. This is not just happening at South Carolina. This situation might be a little bit different because he didn't play, and I think people are going to be upset about that. But it is going to be something that we will continue to monitor. And look, the thing that stinks, there's no guarantee that that's the last one for South Carolina. You can't look at that roster and be like, oh, that's the only. We don't know. And I don't know how that affects people. You don't know. Like, we spent most of this morning talking about Lenora Sellers and KJ Jefferson. Like, all right, what direction do you go with this program? Like, do you develop your player? I don't know if that changes. We don't have enough time to get into all this
so much
now, because you got to look, and I'm not saying Lenora Sellers would do this. I'm talking big picture, all college football. Do you develop your young player only for him to like turn around and be like, hey, thanks for the development. I'm out of here. I'm going elsewhere.
It's a risk you got to take. Big risk, big reward.
You know, Lenora Sellers develops a lot next year.
Again,
I just, there's so many things.
A lot of different routes to take in this situation. The game has changed. It's been 5 years. Once we've entered this is the 3rd year of NIL. There are changes about. I will say this again. I'll repeat it. NIL is not pay for play, and also there's a very simple, easy way to remedy a lot of these ills, and that is by coming to a collective bargaining agreement with the players in college football. Until we do that, we're stuck with this.
I'll leave you with this because Preston's had a big final hour of the program. Anonymous texter. I think Preston's views on all this is great. Can't be mad over how the rules are set. There's a lot more to that text. Preston, what a
day.
morning.
Woo.
I got news for you. This is going to probably carry on throughout the day. A lot to get into. College football. It's a college football as a whole thing. We'll be back tomorrow morning, and we will reassess the situation. Who knows what will happen? See you then.
1075 The Game. Broadcasting live from the Herndon Chevrolet Studios.
Discover Herndon Certified. Herndon Chevrolet's premier used car warranty. Shop with complete confidence knowing Herndon Chevrolet has got you covered.
Stop by or shop online today and see why Herndon Chevrolet makes you smile.
Sponsored by Canty Foundation Specialists. Cracked concrete, sinking foundation, or need new gutters, Canty can fix it. It's that time of year. Are your gutters getting clogged with leaves and pine needles? Never risk getting on that ladder again. Canty Foundation has the best covered gutter in the industry. Visit them at cantygutters.com for more information on the gutter shutter system or call today for a free estimate.
Your attention is precious. Blue Cross and Blue Shield Federal Employee Program works hard to make sure your health insurance isn't one of the many.
No. Oh, wait a minute. No, please don't be genuine. No, DC, you can't transfer tomorrow. You're locked in. We have you locked in. None of y'all can transfer. There's no transfer. Get back here tomorrow. We'll see you then. We'll take care. We'll take care. Later.
Well, fella,